Because the COPA has not yet made a decision in 22 months on this.
I just, look, we got to fess up and we got to clean it up.
You have the wrong place! You got the wrong house! You got the wrong house!
We will and we must continue to say her name.
Should be. Got no enforcement inflicted of a house. Stand for.
What's in it for the black people? What's in it? What's in it for the black people? I'm in it. What's in it for the black people? What's in it? What's in it for the black people? I'm in it. For the black people. For the black people. For the black people. For the black people. For the black people, for the black people, for the black people, for the black people. What's in it for the black people? Let's hear it. What's in it for the black people? Don't fear it. What's in it for the black people? Let's hear it. What's in it for the black people? Don't fear it. For the black people, 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 for the black people. What's in it for the black people? You know it. What's in it for the black people? Let's show it. What's in it for the black people? You know it. What's in it for the black people? Let's show it. For the black people. 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 For the black people, 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 for the black people.
My name is Cassandra J. Matz, current Village of Olympia Fields trustee and your candidate for Village President of Olympia Fields. I've been a resident of Olympia Fields for 28 years. I believe in building strategic partnerships, establishing governance boundaries, and have and will continue to dedicate my life's work as a respected and credible voice when it comes to decision making. Olympia Fields has always been a community of familiarity and comfort, and I want to make sure the village stays that way. On Tuesday, April 6th, vote Cassandra J. Matz for your Olympia Fields Village President. Paid for by Citizens for Cassandra J. Matz.
That's why we shine wherever we go. 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 Lord, Lord. Welcome to the mind of a pothead. On my head, see a young nigga got dressed. We don't give a fuck what the cop said. I'm living a legacy. So even when I die, I am not dead. Nigga, I am not dead. Fuck with me.
great afternoon to you wonderful people. Welcome to this Monday edition of I Said What I Said. We are live from inside the What's In It for the Black People Media Studios alongside Toussaint Werner. My name is Howard. Each and every weekday, 3 to 6 p.m., we get together right here with you and we discuss issues that are currently impacting the black community, how those issues impact us as individuals, but also how they impact us as a collective. And along with your help, we talk through many of these issues in hopes of finding the optimum solutions for how we can overcome those issues. Again, overcome them as individuals, but perhaps more importantly, overcome them as a collective. We want to say thank you sincerely so much for choosing to be a part of this conversation. We greatly, greatly appreciate each and every one of you all. As always, your input is valued. It is definitely appreciated. Anything you want to add to the conversation, feel free to do so. We will read through as many of your comments as possible while we go through the show. Would kindly ask that y'all please take a quick second to share the broadcast. Please share the broadcast. We had a bit of an issue. We launched the broadcast and then it dropped out on us and we relaunched it. So please take a quick second to share the broadcast. Let the people know that we are rocking out today and hanging out here. So if you will, please share it on your personal page. Share it even within your personal network, though. Anybody that you think would add value to or find value in this particular conversation, we welcome them to be a part of the discussion because we think the more the merrier. The more like-minded individuals we can get to be a part of this conversation, the better the opportunities we have of reaching those aforementioned solutions. So please, if you would be so kind, take a quick second to share the broadcast. Again, this is I Said What I Said. It is intellectual thuggery at its absolute finest. My name is Herb. His name is Two. What's happening, good brother?
What's up, family? You know, we usually go blessed and highly favored.
Yeah. You're not blessed and highly favored today?
Today's an ass day already. You know what I mean? Well, it was a good day at first.
Okay.
Got out early, got in the gym.
Uh-huh.
Weather nice.
Mm-hmm.
Like, man, I'm going to ride the bike.
Mm-hmm.
Rode the bike, got all the way from about a block away from here.
Uh-huh.
Feeling a little strange, though. I was like, let me stop and get some air just so, you know, when I ride out, I'll be good money.
Right. Don't got to stop this evening.
Right. So I pull over to the gas station, about to put some air in my tire, and I realize there's a titty in my tire.
One of those big titty balls in the tire.
It's be a bad day.
That's not good.
Right. So I said, well, I can't put no air in here to be dead right there. So I was like, all right, well, let me just see how far I can get it.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So rode all the way back over here, about another block away from the gas station. As soon as I got to the door,
That thing sound like a gunshot when one of those titties pop on the tire. Bow! He be like, what the?
Sound like a gunshot. The Bentley is becoming the money pit. The Bentley is becoming the money pit.
Dang, dog.
Oh, well. I was going to trade it in this year anyway.
Yeah.
Trying to give me a...
Because your man's...
Yeah, my man's...
Your man's got you going, and so now you...
You know what I'm saying? I'm envious, so I got to go get me one ASAP. You understand me?
That is hilarious. That is hilarious. Well, sorry that happened to you, brother. We will figure it out after the show. Make sure we get the Bentley back to the lot and get you back to wherever. So...
Goddamn Bentleys.
We'll get it worked out, man. Sorry that happened to you, man. I don't mean to, I'm feeling amazing.
Bless your heart.
I'm feeling amazing. Like, I ain't gonna lie to you. Like, literally, if I was doing any better, I would sell myself today. Like, I just feel amazing. Like, I'm a spring baby, man. It's 65 degrees outside. You can't tell me nothing right now, fam. You can't tell me absolutely nothing. It feels so good outside. You start to get that feeling the summertime shy. You see people out. I'm coming up, driving up Lakeshore Drive. I'm seeing people out on the bike path. I'm seeing people running. I'm seeing people jogging. I'm seeing the biking shorts. Yeah. It's a thing, man.
Yeah, summertime's coming, man. It's a beautiful thing.
I was very, very tempted to wear shorts today. I was like, don't wild out too soon.
I was about to because I was on the bike, but then I was like, it's gonna be cold when I ride to the crib, so I don't wanna have all that. I don't want to be carrying all that.
I was like, don't wild out too soon. But I'm the type, like, as soon as it's halfway decent, I'm shorts. I don't like pants. I'd rather wear shorts. Like, just get stuff off of me. I'll be ready. So I almost poured today, but I decided not to, man. Another reason I'm feeling good is price of the brick went up last night, man.
Okay.
The price of the brick definitely went up last night. Had the opportunity to host a game night for Game, the rapper, actually.
Game for the game.
Right. And
you should let me know, man. I'd have joined in. I knew you had to do it. I didn't know the time or the date.
I forgot. I should have sent you the link. It was on Twitter Spaces. Twitter has this platform called Spaces. It's their version of Clubhouse.
Okay.
And so we was on there, but super, super dope. Like, hella people tuned into the thing. All of the feedback has been positive. I've been getting alerts. Like, I I don't know what you call it, whatever, alerts on my phone all day from Instagram and Twitter and followers this and tweets about that and can you host this and can you host that, and
super dope.
Price of the brick just went up.
Definitely went up.
We had a good time though, man. We really had a good time. Shout out to everybody that put that thing together. Had a really good time. And then I'm also feeling good too, because if y'all did not catch today's edition of On the Soil, you missed it, and you must watch it. Super dope, man. They had it popping on the Soil today. They talked to Chi-Town Hoop royalty,
Paul McPherson,
man. They had P-Mac on the show, and the conversation was so dope. It was so much authenticity. It was so much transparency. It was so much history, like Chicago history, the names, the stories, the little nuances, the small connections that you kind of miss or forget. And as he was talking and mentioning some of these names and some of these places, some of these parks, some of these events,
start harkening back.
Man, you harken back and you start to remember these names and these people, and it kind of puts you back into some of these spaces. It pushes you back into those gyms, into those gym rooms, and it's like, man, like this is so dope. You're talking about a dude who is the genuine article on the real, from Sircon. Grew up 75th and Dorchester over there, man.
Definitely one of them guys, man.
Yeah, definitely one of them guys. So listen to him tell that story in a way that people only talk to the bigs in sports, man. You're not getting that nowhere else. Like
they from the soil.
They from the soil. It's a real thing. You can watch SportsCenter, you can watch ESPN for the rest of your life. You're not gonna get
that feeling.
You're not gonna get that feeling. Nobody's talking to the anchors at ESPN like that, and that's no disrespect, but they from the soil. It's a regular conversation. It's like me and you chopping it up versus, whoever. You know what I mean? It's a different thing, man. And so Gino and T are able to, get in depth with these athletes in a way that very few people can. And we talked about that with like Derrick Rose and some of the interviews they have there, but you saw it again with Paul McPherson today and some of his stories, talking about his journey from grammar school to the NBA and out and everything, all points in between. It was a super dope interview. I encourage all of y'all to pull up On the Soil from today. You will definitely be blessed, and it's probably going to be a part 2. I think Paul had a connection issue towards the I wouldn't even say towards the end, about the middle of it. Well, no, I guess towards the end. He's probably three-quarters of the way or something like that. And so it's probably going to be a part 2 of that. Looking forward to it, but definitely catch that. Peace to the guys for what they did today, man. That thing was fire.
You know what's funny, man? Like, I grew up hooping in the city, man. Me and Gino used to hoop together when we was young a lot. And now I'm a parent. Like, I'm a basketball father, right? In a way that, like, my daddy didn't invest in that. Like, he was like, yeah, all right. Whatever, nigga. I see what I see. I got bad things to do about that. But there was a culture that existed back then. And not to say it's not a culture today, but it's a very different culture today. Like, even before they left out, we was talking about the pro-ams. We was talking about all the parks and where you could find the games at. And just it really did breed a culture. And it's funny, man, like, as a parent, my son doesn't have them same experiences. It's all kind of, I don't know, it's like organized and it doesn't create the same kind of feeling, man. And I don't even think it's as fun. And Paul made reference to it too when he was talking to the bigs. He was like, man, we're sure we go to the gym early one time a day, and it's like you was a gym rat. He was like, but today you go to the gym less than twice or 3 times, you would never make it to the next level.
Right.
And it's true. They're putting in a lot more work, but it's a lot more skill work, and it's less gameplay. Right? And it doesn't create the camaraderie. It doesn't create the kinship. It doesn't create the relationships. What kind of takes away the fun.
Yeah, but, it follows the trend of the NBA. Right, so as the trajectory of the NBA kind of changed, where you used to have, those tight allegiances with teams, and if you play for the Bulls, you play for the Bulls. You play for the Pistons, you play for the Pistons, and it was going to be like that. You know what I mean? Now it's just kind of free, willy-nilly. I play for them, I play with them, I play with them. The game itself isn't played in the same way. It's all these jacking up these threes. We were talking about it at the kickback yesterday. In fact, just how the league changes, and so then the skill sets of the players change. You have the best players in the game now competing in the 3-point contest. You know what I'm saying? That used to be reserved for some guy off the bench that just had a burner. You know what I'm saying? And now, like the elite players, that is how they play the game. And so now they the ones that's in the 3-point contest. And you see Steph Curry and Donovan Mitchell, and like it's a different thing. But I think that does then trickle down into the lower levels of the game. They are trying to prepare for the NBA game, and the NBA game is not this game where it was about, you know, how well you can do like in the court. Like it's a bunch of this one-on-one. I'm just out here. How many threes can I get up type of thing? And so if I spend enough hours in the gym getting threes up, that's my best way to get to that level. Whereas it used to be, how many runs can you get in? Like how many runs can you get in for real? Like can you really hold your own in a hostile environment? It ain't really hostile in the NBA no more. It ain't, you know what I'm saying? Real. You know, there's nothing hot. You go to the Garden and have to deal with them Knicks teams with Anthony Mason and Patrick Ewing and Charles Smith. Like that's Charles Oakley. That was a hostile thing. You know what I mean? Detroit, same way. It ain't hostile nowhere in the league no more.
I think that culture created ball players. I think this culture creates like specialized guys.
It did. I don't even know who won it, Salim. I didn't have an opportunity to watch it. I was working. I need to probably watch it later.
I ain't watching.
Somebody tell us who won the 3-point contest.
Steph. I don't know.
Yeah, I literally don't. I didn't see a single second of the 3-point contest, dunk contest, All-Star game. I don't know anything about it.
I pulled Steph out my butt and Garter said Steph. So yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, makes sense. I picked Steph I picked Steph at the kickback yesterday. I missed my chance to brag to the brothers. Anyhow, yeah, it trickles down. You used to have like those, you know, hostile environment gyms where you have to go and you got a hoop and you at Westinghouse and you down in that dimly lit basement and it's like it could go down here, right? And you heard Paul talking about it on the soil today. You know, hooping in a park with everybody from the other side, and I'm playing for money, and I'm trying to, not only am I trying to win this game and get out of here with this bread, I'm trying to get out of here with my life. You know what I'm saying? But fear be damned, I'm finna go at this dude hard as I can go, and I'm trying to win this game. And like that's the nature of Chicago basketball. And you used to get that a lot at all the different gyms around the city. If you was in the Red South, Red West, or whatever, like you could get it. You know what I'm saying?
He also spoke about, which was funny. He was like the false rivalry between him and Q.
Yeah.
But he talked about it. He's like, you know how it is. They just make you rivals. And next thing you know, you find yourself in some gym playing for a couple $1,000.
That's it. It didn't.
But I remember them days.
That's how it was. So you had like, and I'm a little younger than like you and G, and so y'all is talking about some of those players from that particular time. And I knew a lot of those guys too, because I was just around the game, so I knew those guys. But for me, it was watching Will Bynum, Sean Doc, Will out west at Crane, Doc on 103rd at Julian, but everybody like Will and Doc, and then they create this thing, and now Will got to see Doc now. You know what I'm saying? Y'all gotta see each other because the streets then made it a thing now. And so y'all could be cool if you want, but the streets got to see this thing. And so it was the same way. Lil Dave Bailey, Martell Bailey, Sid Banks, like it was just a thing. Like you gotta come see these dudes now. You can't just talk like that. You know what I mean? Like, or you can't avoid it. I mean, because it didn't have nothing to do with them. You ain't even got to talk. The streets is gonna talk for you. Manly gonna be like, yo, Luther had the best two guard in the Red West, and Ron could be like, yeah, okay, I fuck with Luther. That's my man. Don't matter. You the best two guard in the Red West, and y'all got to see each other now.
It can't be too bad.
It can't be too bad. Y'all got to see each other now. Man.
Got to see them.
It just is what it is. And I can remember being in Manly when Ron and Luther was seniors in 01, and man, you go over there and again, hostile environment. You got the court, and then you got the West Side. Ain't no space. You know what I'm saying? They right here. And my brother was going crazy in that joint. I think he might have gave them like 39, 40. I like how they was talking about. I forgot what story they was telling about him dropping 60. And they was like, well, he had 57, but we say 60. You know what I'm saying? Like, we rounded it up. So my brother giving them 40, and he hitting threes. And I remember some dude who was not in high school, right? This dude was absolutely
local dope boy,
not in high school. Local dope dude. He just sitting there on the sideline.
Got money on this game.
Pellied up.
That's
he got all his jewelry on.
Got the buck 50 on, leaning. You know what I mean?
I think Ron might have hit like his fifth three, and dude stood up, put it on whatever he put it on, and said, his ass hit another three. He ain't making it out this gym.
Hit another three and see what happens.
Right? And so, like, we there. My mama hear this. Did you hear what he said? You ain't gonna. So she's. I'm like, you wilding. Sit down. Like you. So Ron like, sit down, right? Be cool. Next possession down, Ron. smack 3. You know what I'm saying? Like, but that's the energy of it all the time, man. Like that was how it was. I miss those days so very, very much, man. And I really wish there was a way to bring it back. But I think that once it becomes so commercial, because they mentioned, we're talking about the IIT and how those runs used to be at the Pro-Am, and there was nothing like that, dog.
Nothing like
everybody came through there. Like everybody came through there to come and play. I don't care who you. Vince
really,
Carter,
everybody
AI.
came to watch. Whoever was the local cat was murked the professional dude.
That's what it was.
Whoever the pro dude was there that day, he was getting murked by some local dude.
And the bigger the name, the more the local dude was finna go at him. So he's like, hey, Steph Marbury gonna be at the Pro today. Okay, Will's finna give him 50. Like, bet that. Like, you know what I'm saying? And cats is betting that. Like 10, 15,000 betting that. Like on the side of the court. You know what I'm saying? And but then you fast forward and you had the Shy League that happened over at Whitney Young, and Shy League was fine.
Ain't the same thing though.
Shout out to my man Wayne, who used to host that thing, but it's not the same thing. That was a Nike thing, and it's just a different thing when they get that kind of money, that type of interest, that type of it's a different type of thing. Whereas, and I didn't even know this until G said it on the soil today that Twine was financing the Pro-Am like that. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to Twine for that, because I'm telling you, the Pro-Am put on for the city in a way that very few things have in terms of our standing nationally for how ball is played here. And it was just a super, super dope thing, man. It
was the Drew League before the Drew League.
Yeah, man. I used to love to just go up to IIT and watch them games, man, and just see everybody just hooping, like going crazy. And, you get them big names in there, and they finna go at them. They finna, like, you finna come in. You come in here. You pull up in your Range Rover, because it seemed like everybody put up in the Range Rover.
I remember IIT so long ago when Will couldn't shoot.
Right.
He couldn't shoot to save his life.
He still got that quirky form where he shoot it from the side, but he
shoot to save his life.
Yeah.
But that boy had a handle that was unmatched.
Ball on the string.
On a string, you understand me? I used to just go up there to watch him work dudes off the handle.
Yeah.
I just wanted to see you make somebody fall.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
And he did it.
Yeah.
Every time.
Every rip. And even cats that, everybody kind of knew, Will or Luther or Doc or Ron. Like, people knew them cats, but, like, it was cats that had lesser names, like Royce Parham. Like, Royce like this big. Yep. Royce will give you 50 right now. And damn, I can't think of this dude's name. I can see his face clear as day. Another little dude. He a light-skinned cat though. Ball on the string, play super hard. Like, and one of them will give you 50. And because you coming at him. Like, you coming at him like, who is him? Like, he's finna give you work. That's who he is. Like he's finna go crazy on you, man. So anyway, man, miss those days a whole lot, and I wish there was a way to bring it back. I don't know. There's too much money in it. And I don't know if you can bring back that feeling. Like, it was a feeling as much as it was anything else, and I don't know if you can duplicate that.
You can't bring back the feeling because we're not breeding those kind of people no more.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like Paul said, I'm from the crib. I'm coming at you. That's not the culture here no more.
Period.
You know what I mean?
Period.
It might be in small pockets, but it's not. Back then, it was like everybody moved like that.
Yeah.
So I don't care who you were. I'm not standing down. You say you could beat me, you got to prove it.
You got to show that.
We don't got that no more.
Plus, another thing that I like that Paul said was that all of the hoopers from the crib, they carried everybody else with them. You know what I'm saying? So, like, if I'm hooping, I'm supposed to be nice and I'm from Chicago, I got to put on because it ain't just about me. I'm putting on for the city. Like, everybody like nah, like, he hooping from Chicago. I can't not show up. And they be like, oh, man, he ain't even like that for real. You know what I'm saying? Like, yes, I am like that. And so is everybody else that they say is like that from the crib. They like that, fam. And, now Cash is just, I'm going to do my thing, whatever. You know what I'm saying?
We got one shorty, G. We got a shorty right now that's in high school. He's out there with LeBron's son, Amari Bailey.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you was telling me about him the other day, matter of fact. He on that Sierra Canyon team or whatever.
He's the real deal, bro. But he's the real deal. He's the genuine article from Chicago.
Yeah.
That's why I love him so much.
Yeah.
Top 3 high schooler ranked in the nation. Mm-hmm. He don't get the press because Bronny's there, but he's dog walking them dudes.
Yeah.
But we're going to see him next couple of years. I think he's only like a junior maybe or something like that.
That's dope.
I think he's going to UCLA, but once he gets there, you're going to, it gets a larger platform.
Yeah.
He is the genuine Chicago article. That boy is the real deal.
I don't know. It's bothering me so bad that I can't think of this dude's name that's in my head right now as much as it's just, now his face won't leave my mind, but it'll pop up in my head eventually. Either way, man. Again, if y'all just tuning in, make sure if you don't do anything else, you watch today's edition of On the Soil. It was another one from the brothers. Yeah, another one from the brothers. It was super.
Shaka talking about YVI. You ain't old enough for YVI.
Nah,
that was like in Hyde Park. That was a big deal too.
Yeah. Nah, that's fire, man. All that stuff was fire. Even, man, just hooping was different. Even if you're talking about like a YBL at Southside YMCA, like that was a thing. Like, you know what I'm saying? So many people came through YBL. Like it was just, you know, hooping was the thing, man. Hooping was the thing, and it was a feeling, and it was dope. And it gave you entree into different communities, different sides of the city. Like, what you doing over there, fam? I'm just hooping. And hooping, as I commented in the comments, it was one of the only things in the city that transcended the streets.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying?
Passes.
Yeah, like if they respect you on the court, you can get out of here. You know what I'm saying?
Passes all the time.
Yeah, if they respect you on the court, you can get up out of here. It's a different thing.
All my entree to new neighborhoods came through basketball.
Yeah.
All of them. Like my West Side partners to this day is because I played basketball.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Same thing. The basketball court is like the golf course for the white man. You know what I mean?
Yep.
You build
a lot of deals get made there.
You make access.
Friendships.
You know, it's conversations where you can open up doors to opportunities, all that.
That's real spill.
You know, even before I messed up my hip, I was hooping in the old man league. You know what I mean? But everybody there is doing something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it opens up doors to new opportunities.
Yeah, for sure. It is definitely
Africa talking about Lefty right now. You ever shout out to Lefty?
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, when you think about the Ickies and the midnight basketball.
Yeah. Even going to hoop out like gardens, like it's
in the gardens.
You know what I'm saying? It was always like good, you know, just street hooping. And if you could hold, if like I said, if you got respect on the court, you would get enough respect off the court. You know what I'm saying? It was like, all right, you could be from over there, or you could be, you know, affiliated with this gang, that gang, because the respect on the court is there. Everybody gonna dap you up, and you good to get back to your car. You know what I'm saying? Like that was a thing. Now some of them high school places it was just hostile. I remember like Austin on the west side. Most of the time they were in the blue. They weren't in the red. And, you know, back then, I don't even know how it's set up now. But back then, the red division was the premier division, and then the blue was the, you know, second tier. And if you won the division, whoever won that conference in the blue got to go up to the red, and whoever was last in the red went down to the blue. So Austin was never really in the red until they got Armand Williams.
Armand.
Yeah, Armand could hoop. Armand ended up hooping at UIC. Yeah, he hooped at UIC. UIC tried to do something similar to what DePaul did on a smaller scale when they were talking about that when they had, you know, Q and Lance and Bobby and Paul and Steve Hunter and, you know, Doc and like not Doc Bruno, whatever dude's name was. Anyhow, UIC tried to do something like that on a different scale.
They had Jimmy Collins.
Yeah, exactly. They had Jimmy Collins. So they had Sid Banks went there. Martell Bailey went there. Dave was at Loyola.
Joel went there.
Yep, Joel went there. Armand went there.
Brian Noche was there for a minute.
Josh Williams went there. And so it was a lot of cats that was
Noche still there with them?
Huh?
He like the year before them.
Who?
Brian Noche. Because Brian Noche came there with them too, I think.
I think that I want to say he's a little
TJ
older
was on that team. My cousin TJ was on that team.
Yeah. They had all the Chicago cats on that team too. Shout out to Armand, man. Armand, unfortunately, his life took a turn. But I won't say it took a turn. It just caught up to him.
Life, man.
You know what I'm saying? It just
still Chicago.
Yeah, it caught up to him. But anyway, when Armand was there, he elevated them into the red. We had to go over there and play them. And Austin would turn the buses over. Like when they lost, like they literally turned several school buses over. Like before the team got out, like they lost, 100 students just rocking the bus until it falls over. G. Like, they turned over, like, at least 2 or 3 schools' buses. Man, I'll never forget. I've never been so happy to see my brother lose a game in my life, G. Like,
we can go home.
What? We can get up out of here, fam. I don't care nothing about this, man. Y'all can beat them by 40 when they come to SeaWorld next month. But right now, let's get up out of here, fam. They wanted like a last-second shot that shouldn't have counted at all. But I was like, man, please. The referees had to deliberate about it. It was like I think we was up like 1. And it was like 2 seconds left, like 1 point something seconds left. They inbound the ball. Armand and Butch Elliott. Oh, my God. Butch. Yeah. Forgot about Butch, man. Butch was wild, too. Butch and anyway, it's like 1.2 seconds left. We have one. They inbound the ball to this dude. The dude jab, step, dribble, put up a shot well after the buzzer. It roll around the rim, drop in. Everybody's sitting around like waiting. The referees is deliberating. They sitting there in the middle of the court and they just deliberating. And I know what the conversation
and they decided I wanted to go home.
That's what the conversation is. Like everybody saw that boy didn't get that shot off, but they sitting there deliberating and.
If this ain't good, we ain't going home now.
Yeah, all the refs knew. The same refs was around, so they knew better, man. They like, look, hey, you saw what I saw? Yeah, ball still in his hand for sure. They say, you see what else I see? Yeah, whole bunch of West Side niggas for sure. Like
we going home.
They say a circle. Basket good, game over. I'm
game
like,
over.
I agree with what they said. Let's go home, please. It was fun though, man. Definitely good times. Two. Did you watch Come to America? You watched it?
Yeah, I saw it.
Did you like it? I did. I liked it. A lot of people was like, no, I ain't like it. It wasn't funny. It wasn't this. It wasn't that. They tried to do this. They tried to do that. There's all these people in it. And to be honest with you, I wasn't excited about watching it no more. When I first heard they were going to make it, I was hella excited about it because Coming to America is probably my favorite movie ever. It's an absolute classic. And then when I found out that this version was PG-13, I'm like, how you going to make Coming to America PG-13?
You saw it and you said, oh, I see how you going to make it.
Yeah, in my mind, it just didn't make sense to me, right? You had the original version. You got women popping about the pool with their breast out, talking about the royal penis is clean, Your Highness. You know what I mean? Like, and then you got Samuel L. Jackson sticking up the McDonald's. Like, who the fuck is this asshole? You know what I mean? Like, it was. So I'm like, how they gonna do that PG-13? But I think they managed to pull it off, man. I watched it, and I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah,
for what it was. Now, if we gonna compare it to Coming to America,
you could have went straight to YouTube. It was a B movie. With a bunch
it went straight to Prime.
With a bunch of great cameos. But Prime gives us a little bit too much credit.
They had everybody in that movie.
I know some people from Detroit making movies off iPhones is better than that.
You're such a hater, bro. You're such a hater, bro.
But I mean, it had its moments, man. I watched it with my kids, so they haven't seen part one, so I'm going to have to double back and let them see part one.
Yeah, man.
But they was dying laughing. But I was like, oh, okay.
Nah, it was pretty good. And like the little nuances and the little, odes to the original, I think they did that pretty well.
Tell you what, Tiana Taylor is
Jesus Christ,
damn fine. Nah, Jesus Christ.
I was gonna save a whole segment just to talk about Tiana Taylor.
She's
okay,
fine, man.
Let's be clear. She is one of the baddest people breathing
like
oxygen.
She's like the girl in the Billie Holiday movie to me, though. She's like weird fine.
Mm-hmm.
But she does weird fine very well.
She is. Whew.
Yeah, she got weird fine on lock.
I give up at least 2 fingers. Like you cut 2 fingers off.
I'm not giving up no fingers, but she's weird fine.
All right, one finger.
You can give her whatever you want.
One finger.
I'll give her a compliment and say you're mastering weird fine.
You are mastering weird fine. What kind of compliment is that, bro? She gonna be like, what?
Say, I like your face structure.
I like your face structure. Right. I like you have wonderful facial features. Right.
Wonderful facial features.
She does have wonderful facial features among many other features. Like many other features, because she looked all kinds of amazing in that movie.
She fine.
Yeah, man, what? Shout out to Iman Shumpert, man.
Salute the crib.
Salute to the crib. Salute the Hoopers from the crib, dog. Like, Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. That woman is entertaining to look at. But they had some of everybody in that movie. Mutombo was in that movie.
He was.
Mutombo had an appearance in the movie. It was funny.
The two funniest parts are the two. James Earl Jones saying, "Okay, I'm going to die now." That's classic. That's classic.
The end is near, my son.
The end is near, my son. I'm going to die now.
I was crying. I was like, no. And then Gladys comes in.
I bet you was crying.
Only Esco. Only Esco.
Mufasa.
Can I got to tell you, G, I was childishly cheesing when Randy Watson came out to perform. Oh my God, G! Like I had the biggest cheesy face grin on. Like they got Randy Watson in here. I'm just waiting on the little short barber to be like, that boy good.
He did.
And he
He
sure
was.
came with it. That boy good. He was up there getting it. I'm like, yes, this is great. Like, that's why you got to see part one. You can't appreciate those until you get part one. I was like, the nostalgia from Randy Watson coming on there. Sexual chocolate.
The best scene was I'm Gonna Die Now. And all of the barbershop scenes when the old barbers was making jokes about him coming back.
Yeah.
30 words. You got to wait 30 years, no child support. You came back, you dummy.
You dummy. He was nicer when he was a prince. Like, then they had Mr. McDowell back in there. He had a McDowell's in Zamunda. Like, that,
Blurry.
yeah.
Oh, I didn't even
We
peep
put the
that.
toppings on the bottom.
The name of Wesley Snipes' country was
Nextdoria. Yeah. Yeah.
I didn't even peep that.
Nextdoria, yeah.
That's why I walked in this morning.
Oh, Leslie Jones was funny too.
Shout out to Leslie Jones.
She was funny.
She did her thing in that movie. She was definitely trying to steal the show in that joint. She's a natural funny person. She was dope.
Did you watch it after the credits went off?
Yeah.
So what I realized when after the credits went off, you remember they was always at the table. She's like, "What's these black mashed potatoes?" And everybody started busting up. She's like, "That's caviar."
It's the
ad libs.
But when the credits went off, that wasn't in the. She made that up as they was going.
Uh-huh.
That's always kind of dope.
Yeah. No, that's.
But the movie's still trash. We're talking about like it was a good.
We said all that to say the movie is trash.
Movie.
I disagree, dog. I disagree,
There's
dog.
a bunch of movies on YouTube shot with iPhones right now that are way better than coming.
You are such a hater, bro. So
I didn't even blink.
I will say this. Having seen the latest Lion King and understanding the realism that they can bring to animals now.
Another Lion King?
You haven't seen like they remade it. You ain't seen the remake of Lion King yet? Go ahead.
No.
If y'all could see her right
Hit
now.
the camera.
Where your camera at? She don't never have hers
hit
on.
the camera quietly.
She don't be like if she ain't on, I can't put it in
It
there.
was hot. I was like, "Oh, I smell burnt."
You ain't seen the new one? The redo?
No.
And it's not a new story. It's the same story.
With real animals?
They just redid it.
With like fake real animals?
Gee. Like that's what I'm saying. Like the graphics that they can do now, like you know how when Mufasa died, the stampede was down there and Simba was down there. He's trying to go get Simba in the stampede. Mm-hmm. Gee, this stampede was scary for real. Okay, it looked like a whole stampede, like
He didn't have a chance, guys.
It was different. And so, having seen the latest version of Lion King and how real they can make the animals look, I was disappointed in what they did with the lion and the elephant. Yeah, and the elephant in this one. I felt like
the elephant looked like a pair of Jordan 3s. You're right. It's trash. It's trash.
Like they should have used the because I feel like in the original they just had two real elephants walk past when James Earl Jones and Eddie Murphy was walking.
You know how
through
they
the
give black people on the technology.
Yeah.
They couldn't give black people the good technology. You know that. We don't do that. You know what I mean?
You terrible.
They have the budget for this.
You are terrible, man. Yeah, Salim. Wesley Snipes was good in it too, man. He was funny, dog. I know he was a complete clown,
He was funny.
but he was
one of the
funny.
major characters. He was like one of the funniest cats in the movie.
Yeah, that strut he was doing, the little bop step he was doing, all that stuff he was doing. Wesley Snipes was funny. I don't know if I've ever seen Wesley Snipes be funny. Has he been funny in something before?
You always bet on black.
Not
Yeah,
on purpose.
he just action. He just Passenger 57. I mean,
What's the movie with him and Denzel?
Nino Brown was funny.
Nino Brown did have some moments.
Nino was funny, but he was just like a
He
street
wasn't
nigga
trying
funny.
to be funny.
Yeah.
What's the movie with him and Denzel was playing? It was in a jazz band or whatever. Mo Better Blues.
Oh yeah, I forgot when they was dressed up. I didn't like that. His hair was so terrible in that movie. I couldn't get past Wesley Snipes' hair.
Any man's hair.
I look at your hair every day. What are you talking about?
Like it matters to me. I don't know. I missed that part of that movie. What was it different with his hair?
I don't know. It was so trash. I literally didn't watch it. No, I did watch it.
Major League. He was in Major League.
It was Dolomite. Dolomite is the
so
movie you're
good.
talking about.
So
And I
That
actually
wasn't Dolomite. Mo Better Blues. I know what Dolomite is. There's a difference.
okay. Well, that's the one I'm talking about. Where his hair was
Dolomite was hilarious though.
trash.
The movie was
So
hilarious.
good. So
The
good.
movie was hilarious.
That was a good movie.
Yeah.
I liked it, and I liked the story in Dolomite too. It was real good.
The action scene.
Yeah. It was.
But that's a real story though. Rudy Ray Moore's a real dude.
Yeah. So you are talking about the thing where they were singers, right?
Dolomite is something different, but what I'm talking about is Mo Better Blues.
Which one had like Samuel L. Jackson?
Man, Spike Lee.
And they was like singers and all that.
It
And
was
they,
all one group of people who played in every one of Spike Lee movies. What do you mean?
I hate you so much right now.
I mean, it's for real.
Yeah, he was. But anyway, he's never really funny. Like,
Mo
he was,
Better Blues, he was Shadow. He wasn't trying to be funny. I
Yeah.
just thought he was funny.
yeah, you just think yeah.
You know what I mean?
Usually Money Train, Kenny still talking about the money. Like he was,
I forgot he was in White Man Can't Jump. You're right. He was in White Man Can't Jump. Shout out to my homie.
White Man Can't Jump. He was kind of funny.
Yeah.
But not, again, not like.
Oh God.
Here we go.
Here we go.
They used to hoop in biking shorts and loose tanks.
Tighty whities.
Yes, Lord, with crop top.
Right. Why are we hooping in crop tops? Man?
Only in LA though.
What we doing,
you need
man?
to be able to move, the movement. You don't want to be constricted.
And where's the Huey button back there?
Right.
Hit the Huey button.
Nah, man. Yeah, Wesley Snipes was real good in the movie. Also, the princess, his oldest daughter, fine.
What you talking about?
In the movie, in Coming to America.
Oh, Eddie Murphy's oldest daughter.
Yeah.
I mean, she looked like she was 13. I didn't see it like that. She was cute.
Yeah. Okay.
But since we're talking about princesses, yesterday Oprah did an hour-long segment on Meghan Markle.
Look at you with the segue. I'm proud of you, man. Look at you, bro. Look at you, bro.
I'm kidding. I'm smooth. Transitions,
I see you walking on these transitions.
I before too.
I see you, baby. Let's go.
But yeah, Oprah did this hour-long special for idiots who want to know about the princesses or whatever her title is, life. And if you tuned in, you're pretty much stupid. I don't care who you are. I will tell you you're stupid. Let me tell y'all something. It was the royals who created white supremacy. If y'all are confused why they treated her like a nigga, then y'all are confused about why you exist on this planet today.
Right.
Well,
I don't understand it.
Brilliant interview.
Water's wet. That's the end of that interview. You know what I mean? Like, what else?
Water's wet.
Water's wet. Next show. You know what I mean? What are we talking about here?
Most powerful white people on the globe are racist. Who would have thunk it?
Who would have thunk it?
Who would have thunk that?
Beyond my scope. How is this possible?
How is this possible?
What do you mean?
I
The
don't
people who
believe
created
it.
white supremacy don't like black people? Unbelievable.
And Harry knew that. Harry was raised in it. He understood it full well. Family, they killed your mama because they ain't like her. Okay?
But see, I didn't watch it because I just would not give none of my time to that. But
you just find it interesting
clips.
about the thing.
I find it interesting that we find it interesting.
I'm telling you, it's always surprising to me how we respond to stuff. Like I know how white folks gonna respond to it. I'll be surprised how we respond. Like, I can't believe it.
I don't know how white folks respond to nothing because I don't pay white folks that much attention. I'm not in tune to know what they think.
Yeah, but the construct tells me how they gonna respond to it. I understand it. Like, ain't no shock and awe about how they coming. Like,
but here's what kind of throws me though. I did see like clips on other news stations, right? And the Mark says, yeah, they cut us off financially, while simultaneously saying we're Oprah's neighbor. Hold up, fam. Hold up, fam. We got to rewind this tape.
Hey.
We got to rewind this. The old lady is a Sunny Delight commercial actor.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And you don't have no employment. How you Oprah's neighbor and you ain't getting no money from the family?
Right.
Put me on, homie. I was just saying. Put me in the game, coach.
Prince Harry moving bricks, man.
Which Oprah house? The one in Hawaii?
I don't care where it is.
California?
If it was Oprah's house in Alabama, if you live there,
it's somewhere
like
expensive.
Commercials can't afford it. I'm just saying. I don't know what else y'all do. So whatever else it is that y'all do, I want to know.
Prince Harry moving bricks, fam.
You got to be moving that way.
Okay.
I can't see no other way. How are you poor and you Oprah's neighbor? How did you get cut off from the wealth?
Hey.
But you don't like the media, but you go to Oprah.
And they got what, $7 million for the interview or something like that?
They got paid?
Oh yeah, you good money out
here. That's where they get money from. I can make my own bread just because people want to talk to me about y'all ass.
You want to talk to me about being black, married into a Ku Klux Klan family, and then they treated me like a nigga. What?
But I'm saying Harry understood that. He knew full well that $4,000 maternity dress, that's
hey, Sunny Delight
dropping the bucket.
Very well these days.
Dropping the bucket. It's nothing. He said his mom left money. Yeah. They got rid of her. Okay. Queen Elizabeth, like, you know what? Charles.
She was sleeping with a Arabic man on the side, I heard. So he was way too dark too. He had melanin. So
yeah, and Charles like, all right, don't kill her. The Queen was like,
Candace said they wasn't paid for the interview. I heard somewhere they got $7 million for something. It might not have been that interview, but some other interview maybe.
Whatever.
Number 7 million resonates. I know that. Somebody said that.
People gonna pay to talk to him. They'll pay him. They'll pay him to tell state secrets of life in royalty. Right? They can't. You can't. You believe they killed Diana?
I don't care. I don't know.
All right.
I mean,
But
you
they
know.
were cut off, guys.
Yeah, in traffic,
No
right?
security.
Oh, you talking about that?
detail.
I mean, black people and people killed. I could give a shit who killed them. I'm just gonna keep it a buck.
No, I hear you on that piece. I'm just saying. I'm just saying that
Transatlantic slave trade. Credit that to them.
they ruthless, cutthroat.
Them calling you a nigga. What else would you expect?
Right.
We're worried about your baby being too black. He black. What part of the game? Don't you understand?
That's what I'm saying, G. That's what I'm saying. Like Harry understood that though. Like Harry knew going in. Like he knew if I bring her up in here, I'm sending it up. Like he understood that full well. And so while pre-social media, right, the family could have controlled that thing without nobody knowing. And then she went in the tunnel and they had a crash. She never came out the tunnel. Sure, she went in the tunnel, had a crash, and never came out. Now you can't really control it that way. And so we're like, okay, let's figure out another way to play this thing. All right. Now you just get out, fam. That blackie ain't gonna be up in here. Period.
The queen said over my dead body.
Yeah.
She not dying.
Yeah. She ain't dying. She is like
172.
She's like what's her name?
She's like one of them biblical characters.
What,
she just won't die.
She like
it's like 800.
She like Virginia McCaskey, the Bears
The
owner.
Bears, right.
I'm waiting on her to kick the bucket too. Maybe we get a black quarterback around this joint. She like not over my dead body. Ain't no black quarterback finna run my daddy's team. Like we talk about George Halas like he was held. I mean he salute for him being a forefather in the NFL. But talking about a rich, powerful white dude in the early 1900s. Like man, please. Fam, that man.
So Candace says
he ain't like black people.
Not Harry's first sister, just the first one he brought home. Yeah, so
So
the man is online with a costume from a Nazi internment camp. Like you can't sell me on that these white folks ain't the pinnacle of whiteness.
Yeah. Yeah,
it's you can't white explain none of this to me. I don't care.
Listen, the first time
I don't. She deserves everything she gets. If they got race play going on in the bedroom, you deserve it.
Sad fish.
Get it all. You deserve it because that's what you want. I want you to have everything that you desire in life. If he's calling you a mud baby, a porch monkey, whatever he's calling you when he's beating it up from the back, I salute it.
First of all, Harry ain't beating it up.
Whatever he's doing, I don't care. I don't care at all. It bothers me that we care, and we should stop caring about Oprah fully because she's one of them. But after that part of it, like
transplant.
Yeah, she's a transplant. But after that part of it, man, it's like it goes back into the same thing we always talk about, how we are addicted to fame and celebrity because of our desire and need for aspiration.
Mm-hmm.
This ain't hypothetical. This is the birthplace of white supremacy.
I'm with you on that.
Right? This ain't hypothetical. So when you dumbasses tuned in at half a many million because you broke some records to watch them get married, talking about the first black princess, maybe you've never heard of this country called Africa. Maybe you've never heard of that. But there's royalty there too.
Mm-hmm.
Right? You can't name one of them.
Mm-hmm.
You can't name one of them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's
where gold is.
All kind of princesses come from the continent.
Resources are. That's where the wealth is. The money they got is because they pillaged and raped your forefathers.
We got Princess Lisa.
Why are we
Lisa
celebrating
McDonald.
that shit at any level?
Yeah. I wasn't uncomfortable. He's just a fool. I don't think that Harry is calling her a porch monkey.
Take that. Take that. Take that.
This dude is just a fool, man. Like something's wrong with him. I don't know, G. No.
Come on, you know what's happening over there.
No, it's not, G.
Take that.
No, it's not. They role play. Like, hey, 3:00 in the morning, I'm gonna come out to the field house in the back and
and I'm gonna take it from you.
Hey, something is wrong with you, dog.
Call me master. You know that's happening.
You think she's
People
calling
get
her?
off on
You think she's calling him master
King.
in role play?
King? I'm your king.
The whole construct is about power. Now think about this: these are royal people.
Something is wrong with you,
right?
man.
Check the bloodline.
Check the
Cause you
bloodline.
can.
Because I can.
It's in the book.
Porch monkey, do as I say.
No.
Clean the bathroom. You know what I mean? Come on, G. There's something going on now.
I can't see it, man. I can't see it.
I don't know.
I'll say this: whenever Harry got his first,
Steve said, "Take these 2 pumps, you tar baby."
take these 2 pumps, you tar baby.
I'm done.
right, we'll see y'all tomorrow, man. This is y'all off the
I'm
chain
trying
right
to be
now.
good today. You see, I'm trying.
You know what I'm saying? Like that, y'all off the chain in here right now. For real, for real. Take these 2 pumps, you tar baby.
I got a DM Mondays are juking when Sonia's there.
It's
I'm
always
like,
you.
don't blame me. No,
It's you.
good today.
It's you. Yeah, you know,
I just can't find it in me to care.
I just think once he made his first, you know, foray into blackness, that he knew, like, I got to give me one of these for real. First time he had his first piece, he's like, give me one of these.
Sisters are beautiful, G. There's nothing else in the world that compares, right?
But he couldn't go all the way. He couldn't go get, you know, chocolate dip, perfect, shiny skin Keisha from the block. He wouldn't got Meghan Markle, you know, she, you know.
He probably couldn't deal with chocolate dip Keisha from the block,
Mm-hmm.
right? Meghan Markle to him is as far as he could probably go. You know,
Yeah, that was as far as he dared. Like that's
probably as far as he could go.
Oh, as far as he even interested in.
No, that's probably as far as he could go. First of all, dark skinned Keisha from O Block don't know who he is. You just a white dude, homie. Back on, get around. You understand what I'm saying? Move around. I'm not interested.
Until he pull out $40.
I'm not. Hey, I support dark skinned Keishas. I love y'all. Don't you let her come down to
What
you.
is this?
Right. They don't know what the euro is. Take this Monopoly money out of here. You know what I'm talking about? But Meghan Markle, she played in a couple Sunday Light commercials. She's probably read a book or two. Raised in a family that obviously knew how to get in front of the money.
You ever seen that show she was in? I always forget what it's called. It was Lawyers Suits. Yeah.
No, I seen her in the Hallmark.
Oh, she was in the actual
movies.
show?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I could care less.
She was one of the stars of the show.
Oh, great.
And it's a really good show. She was fine as hell.
Yeah, I don't remember it.
And then I'm like, oh, she's marrying the prince or whatever. Okay, cool.
Salute.
I'm gonna have to stand up for the mixed chicks. I
Salute
hear you,
him.
D. Millie. I'm just saying he couldn't.
But D. Millie O Block. It's not just mixed. That ain't it. You understand me?
You saying Meghan Markle ain't got D. Millie energy?
Not at all.
Whoa.
Not at all. And that's a positive for D. Millie. I don't like the
Of course it's
where's
positive.
Meghan Markle from? She's like from LA, right?
I have no idea.
Evanston?
Bolingbrook.
Hey, where are the white women?
Oh God. Timing impeccable.
Look at me, I'm gonna tell you.
This is why I love y'all, B.
Oh my God.
See, you get me started.
This is why I love y'all, B.
Good.
Oh my God, my stomach hurts.
Golly. Hey, why y'all coming to dark skin Keisha like that? Talking about she got 5 babies out of wedlock, though.
I love me some dark skinned Keisha.
I love dark skin Keisha. Matter of fact, dark skin Keisha is probably one of the best portrayals ever from Belly. She was dark skin Keisha.
You know what? That was my first
Keisha
was the joint.
Yeah, Keisha. Woo. And the way Hype Williams had her looking in the house scenes.
She was fine regardless. She was fine in
she was fine. But I'm just saying the way Hype Williams did it with the light and her skin tone and how it was shining. And man,
she was
listen,
beautiful.
I'm in here licking the screen.
What's the movie with Karojimo? You know what I'm talking about?
Nope.
I can't remember. This is a gangster movie too. G. I can't think of it, but she was Meghan Markle in the movie. One of the young Irish boys started liking the little sister. Mm-hmm. He was getting raised by the gangster Sonny, but his dad, I can't remember the name of it. Bronx Tale.
Bronx Tale.
She was Meghan Markle in Bronx Tale.
I'm saying, Deborah, I'm not saying she was the 2 white dudes. They was the bigger stars, but she's probably the 3rd or 4th star of Suits.
They got the 3rd or 4th string in stars in TV shows.
I'm saying she's like the 3rd.
She was about
or
an
4th.
extra at that part.
You get on my nerves so bad.
Did you have speaking lines?
You get on.
I think she held a book.
Bronx Tale.
Bus attendant number 14.
I don't remember. 3rd speaker. It gets so disrespectful on the bottom of credits. Like
lunch lady by the macaroni tray.
Right.
Shout out to Donnie Savage.
It get real disrespectful. It get real disrespectful.
Oh my God.
Deep down as the credits roll, man. Y'all clowning in here for no reason. It's way too early. There were some things I actually want to talk about. I want to talk about the vaccine, the CDC. Coming out with their latest recommendations for the people who have been vaccinated versus people who have not. It was a very, very interesting read because as I read it, and my comprehension could have been wrong because they didn't come out and say that. But as I read it, it sounds like they were giving people the virus in the vaccine because it was like
That's part of the vaccine.
Right. I know that's how vaccines work, but I'm saying like they was like telling the people who got it that they can do this, they can do that, they can do this. What you can't do is be around other people who haven't been vaccinated because they're more likely to get it from you now. I'm like, I thought they not supposed. I'll read it to y'all. Y'all can come up with y'all own conclusions, but it read very weird to me as I was reading it. But anyway, I want to talk about that. I also want to talk about your boy, what?
Stephen Jenkins.
Does Megan have cakes? I feel like we only see her face and not her body. Anyhow,
I couldn't identify her on the street. I wouldn't know who she was, man. I'd have no.
I'd identify. She's gorgeous, man. I'm not gonna lie on
I'd
Shorty.
have to pull up the Sunny Delight commercial and find her again.
No, she's in a Hallmark movie or two.
Hallmark 2? Yeah, I figured some after school specials, you know. Yeah, I figured it was something like that.
Y'all need help for real, man. But she is fine though, for sure. You couldn't identify on the street. I asked a question. So the game we was playing last night was Family Feud, and Game he wanted to do a after dark version of it. That's how this whole thing like came to be. I was doing it of the regular version, you know, and then he, you know, a lot of people was in there or whatever, and he was like, "Yo, can y'all do one after dark, like an after dark version?" Yeah, we can do that. So anyway, that's what we was doing. We was doing that, and
porn background.
One of the questions,
Theme music.
One of the questions was we asked 100 men, if you were blindfolded, you could still identify your woman by feeling on her what?
Hand.
That was one of the answers. Hand was one of the answers. It was not it was not the first thing.
So 100 men is Ray Charles. They all lie. Hand would be the least distinctive thing I would know.
No, I have a scar right here, mine. Yeah. I can tell my man by the hands.
No, I'm just.
What was number one?
Number one was actually face.
Oh, for sure.
Negroes be lying.
Number one was face.
You can feel somebody's face. And I don't get it.
Yep.
Yeah, you know how you.
I can tell by her breast.
You know how you grab your lady and you know hold her face like that. You know if it's this
And
wide or if it's this thin, it's like that ain't her face.
And be like, yeah, this is my woman.
That's you, babe.
Yeah, I wouldn't trust
or
it.
like the lips. You know what I'm saying?
If my life depended on it, I wouldn't trust it.
Or like the lips. Like yeah.
If my life depended on it, I'd know by the breast.
Me too. I agree with you.
That would be hard, I think.
No, that's not hard. No, that's not hard.
I'm a professional.
Over the bra?
We talking about a part. No, I have to touch them. Like just like I touch her face, I gotta touch the breast.
Oh my. Yeah, then you could tell.
I'm not trying to identify Victoria's Secret. I'm trying to identify the person. Like
you can easily say these are CD Posturepedics.
Oh,
these are
I don't got time for it.
I'm just saying. It feels different.
No, you can definitely tell. You've been with a partner enough. Grabbing her breast is absolutely a way to know if it's her. Her balls if you from the north side. Wow.
I wasn't going to read that, but I knew you would.
Wow.
Left you there to take that one.
Wow. K Steele is jumping out the water on this.
I let Ray Charles feel her hand garbage. That's only for the blind.
Yeah, he feel her wrist because he wanted to know.
First of all, let's keep it a buck.
And that was just some superficial stuff. He didn't want fat women. So if her wrist was too thick, he was like, nah.
But see, here's the thing, like
he couldn't like tell if she was cute. He could just tell if she was big or not.
Right, men are visual people. So like if you blind, your senses increase in other spaces. So you might be able to feel something different.
Yeah.
But we can't. I don't believe it. I don't think you could identify your woman at all in anything other than her breast.
What about her butt?
Even like
her shape.
Slugging is slugging, and not slugging is not slugging. So I'd be able to know that much. Right, but if
I'm
put
saying
somebody in the room who's slugging equally, we'd have a struggle.
Yeah, but I'm saying if this is the butt that I've touched thousands of times, gripped thousands of times from the front, from the side, from the back, like I could walk up on her and put my arms around her and be like, yeah, that's not the same ass I've grabbed 1,000 times. Or yes, this is exactly the ass that I've grabbed 1,000 times.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I would gauge it if it was me.
Mm-hmm.
I would be risking.
I think breasts are more
distinct. The breast and the butt.
Yeah, I think breasts are more distinguishable. But I think you can do it with. I think you can do it with the butt too.
Okay, I don't know.
Some dude said feet.
Yeah, his woman got them tree climbing feet. That's the only way you can know.
I was like, what
they gonna wrap around my fingers when I touch them.
Like I guess you could tell if it's. You know what, Howard. Like, you know what?
Yeah, I'm gonna keep it pushing.
I don't even know.
Don't do it, Herb. Keep it pushing.
Don't do it.
Okay. I don't know how you could. He said the crack of her ass. How do you like? It's literally a space. I don't even. Okay. How about her scent? Yeah, but the question was, blindfolded. Could you feel her? Like, you could, smell or whatever. But somebody was like feet. I'm like, how could you could tell this is a Bigfoot or a Littlefoot, but how could you unless she got like identifying like corns or bones or something? Like how? I don't know.
Bigfoot or a Littlefoot. That's funny to me.
Yeah, that's all. That's all you could really tell. Another dude said skin. I was like,
you could feel her skin.
I'm like, unless she got like extreme eczema or something.
Or very rough skin.
Yeah, if she got like a bad case of eczema.
She might be a mechanic. She might be working on cars.
She might be a mechanic.
The mechanic skin is different. It's like,
what else is about mechanics? Their hands are never clean.
I would wonder about that. I know they're never clean between 9 to 5.
No.
But after 5, like, how do you get that off you?
And I'm not even putting no smut on their jacket. I swear to God, I'm not. I'm saying they wash their hands as best they can, some of them, right? But they under these cars and this grease and their hands are perpetually dirty. Like, even if they wash them, you're just like, yeah, I don't want your hands touching me, fam.
Yeah, that's disgusting.
Like, you know what I'm saying? 8 o'clock in the morning, I don't want them
Special oils and creams.
Yeah, but I mean, then you go back and you put 10 more hours under the car, and it's like, yeah, you do this every day for like 30 years. Your hands aren't clean. It's just, I mean, they may be clean, like it may not be like bacterial, but they still like, nah, fam. I don't know what it is about that gig, but I'm real finicky about like stuff on my hands. I hate to like you ever had your woman like, hey, can you like oil my scalp or something like that?
No, that's never happened. It's not.
Well,
You never brushed hair or anything?
Yeah, no. My daughters, I did that
The
before.
conditioner and
I didn't do all that. I just brushed it, put a headband on.
Had Bella out there looking a fool.
Looking like a hooper. Best I can do, baby. Roll with me.
Looking like a fool. But no, I'm real finicky. Like, I can't get my, I just, There's something about it. Grease and film and stuff on my hands, I freak out. My OCD can't handle it. It ain't my thing. But anyhow, that was that. But another couple things I want to talk about other than the new CDC recommendations. They are set to begin picking the jury for Derek Chauvin's trial in the murder of George Floyd. And so I read the article about that, and it's just a lot. It's a lot to it. First of all, they fortifying the Minneapolis Metro government building, wherever the hell they having the trial at. They're fortifying it. It's got double fences wrapped around it. They've got the National Guard out there. They are
I hope he's released.
They're evacuating the building. Why? We ain't gonna do shit to him.
It's not about doing shit to him. I think that, kind of when we start thinking back since the energy's like kicked off with Trayvon, and then with Mike Brown, it kind of pushed into the streets. It was a little different than Trayvon with Mike Brown. Mike Brown's response was an aggressive response. And then it was like this succession of deaths and murders that happened that kind of built it was like a picked up steam for us to kind of create actions in the street. I mean, think about it, like, Will.
Steve, go to bed, G. Like, go to bed, dog.
What's Will's last name?
Will who?
Eastside Will. Beard Will. Big Beard Will.
I don't know who you're talking about, my G.
Laquan McDonald Will.
Yeah, I don't know, G.
Okay.
William Calloway?
Yeah, Will Calloway.
Oh, okay. I'm tweaking. My fault. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Right. So you think about that. Will was kind of birthed out of that movement, out of that energy. And there was a lot of other people birthed across the nation out of that energy. And now that we've gotten rid of Trump, we've kind of, I don't want to say we've lost, but we think that Trump was the pinnacle of that energy. And he just wasn't. So in a lot of ways, if we get it, and I know it's sacrifices in war, it just kind of is what it is. But I think if we get a not guilty verdict around here, it will increase or heighten the awareness in our community. And I think we need to be on that level of awareness and that frequency all the time anyway. For whatever.
You don't think that's been enough for us to know that?
We're not there. We voted for.
That's what I'm saying. So do you think
for Biden? We keep voting, but it's.
So do you think like one more is going to be like?
He's already gone, right?
Yeah, I ain't tripping. I don't really care. I'd rather him get a bullet in his head. Personally, I don't really care.
I'm not arguing that. I don't care what happens to him, right? You can feed him to pythons. I don't give a damn. But my point is, from our community's perspective, how do we keep our foot on the gas? And we're so
I hear you.
we're responsive, we're reactive, we're not proactive. So in this moment, even though it might be a reactive sense, it's still a catalyst to movement, and we need to keep movement. Like these last 10 years probably have been the probably most active social years since the 1960s.
For sure.
And with the induction of the Biden-Kamala Harris campaign, just think about since they've been elected for what, 2 months now? What have you seen black people doing but chilling? Like think about just 2 months prior to that, how much noise black people was making.
Yeah.
2 months after, where is a black person at?
We got Chucks and Tims in the Oval.
So
we good.
yeah, let's kick it off, man.
This is what I'm saying.
Back.
I hear you, and you know I'm of that philosophy anyway. It's the reason that I voted for Donald Trump in 2016. It's the reason I wish he would have won this time. I didn't vote for him this time, but like.
But white people are invested in this one.
Yeah,
You know?
what I'm saying, I don't know. What I'm saying is I don't know that this is going to be like the last thing. Like, okay, now we own it. We stick to like we.
I'm not saying we're gonna be on and stick to it. It don't matter. It's a progression. It has to keep continually happening.
So every few months we got to be murdered, abused, and you know what I mean?
No, I'm not saying
Like
that at all.
I'm saying from us. Like why do we need another one? Why ain't all the history that we've ever experienced enough? Why ain't the George Zimmerman walking around like he, you know, is a great American historian for having killed Trayvon, like selling this gun for like ridiculous amounts of money? Like, you know, why do we need another one is what I'm saying.
I'm not saying we need another one, right? And I'm not saying we control whether or not we get another one. But I'm saying that I know that we're reactive people, right? And I know that right now our reaction is null and void. And our reaction right now is to us having a black woman vice president. Have we think we've accomplished something, right? We've not accomplished anything. You know what I mean? And until we do accomplish something, whatever becomes the catalyst to keep us motivated to be socially active in our communities and in our country, I support it. The police are not gonna stop killing black people. It's just not gonna happen, right? Until we create some level of equity in this country. It's not about nothing else other than equity.
What about ain't gonna be no killing without no killing? What about you kill one of ours, we killing one of yours?
That's not going to stop it, right? Because the main reason why they're killing you is because they're afraid of you, right? And fear creates those kind of energies in people regardless. You're not going to be able to change that. But part of that conversation for me is bothersome because we hearken our energy or even our responsiveness to a police force instead of a concept of government and a concept of socialization. This whole place is constructed around the idea of race. So to be mad at, you know, the lowest level of the purveyors of the construct is usually useless, right? It doesn't start there, it doesn't stop there, right? But again, unless we keep finding whatever the catalyst may be, and I'm not saying it has to be murder, right? But that's usually what it's been, right? He's already dead. The response, if they let him go, there will be some kind of social response. Yeah. And until we get to a point where we're proactive, we'll change. But until then, we just can't sit on our laurels. And what I know is that in our reactive state, we respond to that kind of energy.
Okay, so we send shit up for a week or two.
We say that kind of minimally, though, right? We sent it up for Laquan for a week or two, and it created Will Calloway, right? It also created J. Maul Green. Now, I don't fucking like J. Maul Green. But I can't deny the value that it created in our young folks. It created Jedediah.
I love Will, though.
I love Will. Yeah. And it created a lot of other young folks that was moving. Regardless if I'm in agreement with them or not, I'm just proud that they moving. You know what I mean? They got to be moving. And in that movement process, the information they'll need to grow and learn, eventually, I like their ass by the time they get to 40. If they listening, they'll learn some shit and keep the ball moving. You know what I mean? But if they're null and void and they're asleep at the wheel, what happens? Can we take a quick break? I know it's an obtuse time, but I got to go get Keisha to know.
Yeah, we can take a break anyway. When we come back, we'll dive deeper into that conversation. Also, we're going to talk about your boy, Joe Biden, established a new gender policy council. What do you think that looks like? What do you think it's for? We'll read that on the other side of the break. This is I Said What I Said. Herb and 2 till 6. We'll be right back. The Chicago Legal Network is the collaboration of attorneys that concentrate in many areas of the law most needed in Chicago neighborhoods. The CLN lawyers focus on personal injury, criminal defense, and other issues. The CLN lawyers all average over 20 years of legal experience and are dedicated to helping the Chicago community. The Chicago Legal Network is committed to developing black lawyers through mentorship and co-representation. So if you were injured in a car accident, slip and fall, or injured on the job, or you need assistance with criminal defense, including driving violations and DUI, check out chicagolegalnetwork.com for more information or call 773-912-3545. 773-912-3545.
You are listening to the most dangerous show in the morning.
Live on the line, we have the newly appointed State Senator Doris Turner. Welcome to the Maze Jackson Show. How are you, Senator Turner?
Good morning, good morning, good morning. I really feel like I have arrived now that I'm on the Maze Jackson Show. It's a dream I never thought would happen. You know, in every office that I have held, I served 10 years on the Sangamon County Board, then I served 2.5 terms on the Springfield City Council. And in each one of those positions, I have never represented a district that was a majority district. But every day I've gone to work to ensure that African Americans in those districts receive equitable treatment and that the legislation that I pushed was beneficial to the entire district, but beneficial to the African Americans that lived in that district, because these are people that for too long have not had a voice. When I was there and I was their voice, I wanted to make sure that everything that I did was going to move my community forward. And that's always been first and foremost in my mind, and that will continue to happen. If you look at ordinances and legislation that I have championed, drafted, and passed, you will see that thread running through there. Everything that happened with the legalization of cannabis in Springfield, I led that and came out of that with a lot of successes. And one of the things that I am most proud of that came out of that was we put the 3% municipal tax on there, but 1.5% of that money will always go to a very specific area of Springfield that is the heart of the East Side.
You mentioned cannabis, but what we've seen is that there has been no access to cannabis for black folks.
We've had to go back and do 2 fixes already. I think that everyone knew that that was going to happen. But, you know, going forward, it's one of those things that, you know, when you know what you know, you know. There'll be more eyes and ears on a lot of things. So I am very committed to that.
Maze Jackson. Maze Jackson.
sometimes have a tendency to look at you religiously. Yeah, 'cause nothing even matters to me. Nothing even matters. Nothing even matters. Nothing even matters. You won't find me at no store. I have no time for manicures. With you, it's never either or. Team could score and make it to the Final Four. Just repossess me 4x4. Yeah, 'cause nothing even matters no more. Nothing even matters. Nothing even matters, yeah, yeah.
What's in it for the Black Media Studio? You're listening to I Said What I Said.
Wait, what did you say?
I said you're listening to I Said What I Said.
I just said that.
I know you just said that.
That's what I just said.
That's what I'm saying to you.
Exactly what he just said.
With Herb Howard and Toussaint Werner.
That's about one of the nicest things you've ever said.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying.
What is happening, family? We are back and we are live from inside the What's in It for the Black People Media Studios. This is I Said What I Said alongside Toussaint Werner. My name is Herb Howard. Now we are absolutely thrilled to be joined live in the studio by the one and only Lakeisha Gray. So, Keish, what's happening, sis?
What's going on?
You good?
Get to the microphone, Lakeisha Gray. So, please.
What it is.
Ain't nothing to it.
My voice projects and carries. I need to be up close. You know, good mics. You don't have to be up on them like that.
Y'all get started early as usual, doing what y'all do. We've been, kind of bouncing around a couple of conversations. We're gonna get into some of those things on the back end. I do want to get into the a little bit deeper into the upcoming jury selection in the trial for Derek Chauvin. Also, Joe Biden's new gender policy council. And I do want to read some excerpts from the new CDC guidelines. Because you've been doing a whole bunch of dope stuff. Per usual, you're always doing dope stuff. But with it being Women's History Month specifically, you've been doing some dope stuff too. I know you want to highlight some of that stuff. But Keisha's here.
Right. So Keisha just gave me her phone to read off her bio. Like,
It's not about you.
it's not your bio, but whatever. She wants me to read this. So I'm going to read it verbatim.
Get it right.
She says,
He's terrible.
March
He's a
is
terrible
Women's
person.
History Month.
Terrible person.
I can't help it. So I will be taking time to reflect and honor Black women who often go unnoticed.
You hear the voice he gives you, though?
Yeah, I'm really, yeah.
Well, this is radio. We're doing radio. What do you mean? Stop being a jerk. Don't start this. Don't pit me against her because she likes to fight.
That's what y'all doing. That's what y'all gonna do anyway.
I'm gonna be quiet.
I come in peace.
I come in peace too. I would be quiet.
We'll see how peaceful it remains.
So anyway, man, Black women that go unnoticed and whose contributions have historically been discounted. I honor them. I stand on their shoulders.
That's it. That's all you got.
That's all I'm gonna read because that's what Keisha told me to stop reading that.
I gave you the phone because you said, "How should I word what you've been doing?" So I just gave you the phone at the.
Don't worry about it.
Well, we
Keisha.
appreciate it. Did I
Don't worry about
introduce you right? It was what you told me to read.
Don't worry about it.
It is what it is. It's all good. Yeah. So
How you been?
I've been good, y'all. It's a.
We miss you,
time.
Keish.
Yeah.
I miss y'all too, but I think we'll I miss y'all too.
She got to stop talking before she get into insults. Like, I miss y'all too. Hard stop.
Hard stop.
Hard stop.
You know, March is Women's History Month. But what I've always noticed is that, people find it as a convenient way to just brush aside Black history. So they want to rush through them 28 days and then get back to, just this kumbaya, which basically means erasing and silencing Black contributions. And mostly when it comes to women's history, know I love this book by Akasha Gloria Hall, which is All the Women Are White, All of the Blacks Are Men, but some of us are brave. And so I know when it's time for women's history, it's always every other person under the sun, and we got women of color, and pink women, green women, yellow women, orange women. But I'm always unapologetically representing and calling out and amplifying Black women. So every day of the month, I'll be highlighting Black women who've made contributions that haven't always been acceptable, or the establishment, right? They haven't always been welcome or highlighted within the establishment. And so each day I've just shared some names, and hopefully normally I would just give bios and their whole backgrounds, but I think it's time for our people to start researching for themselves. So I just put the names out there in a generalization of what they do, but then allow people to research and seek out that knowledge for themselves.
Do it so well. It needs to be taught. It needs to be said. It needs to be, spread throughout. We was just listening to Nothing Even Matters, which is, and I know you heard the different beat, like, gotta get some Black tracks up in here, but that came from,
Lauryn Hill.
From Lauryn Hill, from the Miseducation of Lauryn Hill, from that classic album, and it was redone by Sam Trump, who is a dope artist from the crib. And shout out, man, I gotta shout out to Dawn Millhouse, man, for like all the music that she brings into What's in It for the Black People Media. All of those tracks that's in that database and all of the connections and different artists that she has that we hear on a daily basis. It provides a soundtrack for the network. And
I agree.
Yeah,
I'm
so
looking at
shout out to Don for coming through with all the dopeness on the music side.
And you said local artists too, so I'm gonna shout out, since it's Black History Women's Month, I'm gonna shout out No Name, and I'm gonna shout out Megan McNeil. Two sisters from Chicago doing their thing. Megan McNeil.
Yeah, love Megan McNeil, man.
I know No Name. I never heard
No
of
Name
Megan
just
McNeil.
dropped something too. So Megan McNeil, you probably saw it. She was on the CTA. They had a video of her holding her baby and she was singing.
I do know who that is.
I
don't know who it is, but I've seen that.
She got a voice.
She rock with dude that's the spoken word. Her Howard. What's his name? You had him on. Y'all had him on the show when y'all were over at UBM.
I can't remember.
Poetry dude. Well, anyway, yeah, she
Big beard.
Nah, not real talk. Not Brandon Alexander Williams. I think you're thinking of Harold Green.
Yes, that's him.
Harold, yeah.
She involved in his little collective
Yeah.
or whatever. So yeah, shouts out to all the women who represent from the crib.
Yeah,
Shout out to
for
them,
sure.
man.
Making them dope.
I'm looking at this list of people, Keisha, and there's some people on here I don't know, which is alarming to me. I don't want to mess this name up. Is it Septima?
Septima Clark.
Who is that? I'm not hit.
So Septima Clark was so she was around like in a freedom. Pretty much she made up Freedom School Day. So back in the civil rights time, she was the one educating black women and black girls about their rights to vote, but not only just to vote, but overall. So it was an extension. Thank you, an extension and supplement of education. I wanted to highlight her specifically because right now we're in this pandemic and we're forced to do remote learning and virtual learning, and a lot of people are trying to push back and push their children back into school and force school to be in a school building and a classroom. And I just think it's so many of our ancestors that taught us that school is everywhere, right? And that we are our children's first teachers. It's in the community, it is in our homes, and it's in our churches and in the church basements and community organizations. And so that's why I wanted to highlight Septima, hopefully so people can see that there is another way. It doesn't have to be the same way. It's another way, and we can always do our best to explore other ways.
Why are we so beholden to traditional ways of doing things, as though there's been such a rich tradition here for us in terms of the way things are done on a large scale?
What to say all the time until you know.
Until you fully understand white supremacy, right?
And creativity takes risk and responsibility, right? To operate outside the social norms takes responsibility and accountability, and it's difficult for people to do. That's why, I think the number's like less than 2% of the nation is entrepreneurs. You know what I mean? So that says that the vast majority of it, and that's discounting those who just don't work at all, but the vast majority of us follow rules. It just is what it is. We don't never operate outside whatever the social paradigm is.
And then it's also wanting to be close, closest to the most, adjacent to the closest thing that they know of as being white, which also means connected, which also means better than, right? So if you do what is in the white structure, right, then that is the thing that gets you to success or looks like success. So, most of the people that I talk about or that I lift up every day, they weren't the ones that were popular at the time. Now they are. You hear Ida B. Wells' name now, but they weren't having Ida B. Wells
and
back
Martin
then.
Luther King wasn't popular.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Jesus wasn't popular.
Right, Jesus wasn't popular.
Like, for real, though. But
even if he was real.
These
mythical
women, these women were literally, and Ida B. Wells, y'all know I'm number one Ida fan. So Ida B. Wells specifically, the women who were black and who were able to get to navigate into the establishment and get in the White House and be on councils and shows and all that. Ida B. Wells was not. She was pushed to the back. She was like the too loud, too boisterous, too black, too racist. She wanted to be the race woman, and they wasn't having that. They wanted her to be quiet, and it was many of her own sisters who was doing that. So, yeah.
Yeah, because most people, they want to just make their inroads into white society. And so, if you are around here banging the black drum all the time, hey, you making too much noise. You're going to get us kicked out.
They going to notice we black.
Right. You know what I mean?
Like they're going to notice once I change and I do this code switching that I'm actually not black. When you come in the room and you're speaking as if you're black, you're going to blow my cover.
Right.
And no, your cover is blown because you black.
Because of how you came here.
You just it is what it is. So just embrace it. Shout out to AAVE. I'm a long-standing protector of it. Ebonics is the way to go. And I try to lift that up every time as well.
Nah,
Did you just look over at him like, what was that? What was that look?
I'm reading your phone, Kish. That's all I'm doing.
Don't be reading.
I don't want no trouble. Here, Negro. Here. Tell me who Susie King Taylor is.
Oh, Susie King Taylor.
On the microphone, Keisha. Sit down on the microphone. I don't need your phone no more. Take it, jerk.
No, because I just didn't want you to see no text from my husband to come in.
I don't want to see no text from Barry. Thank God for that.
Susie King.
Bless Jesus for that one.
Who are the other names under Susie King Taylor?
You got Susie King Taylor, Septima.
Oh yeah, so all of those women are all women who champion education for black women and girls. So you got Mary McLeod Bethune, Susie King Taylor.
Barbara
She was before
Savage.
all of them. So Susie King Taylor was back during slavery. She would take children who were enslaved and she would start teaching them. So this was early on, black girls specifically.
Howard, that is a good point. We will do that. That is actually in the work specifically around education. We're going to do that. Can we also shine light on sisters that are pushing the needle now? Absolutely.
Lakeisha Gray Sue,
That's
the
me.
sisters that sit
That's
right
why
there
I'm
in the
here.
chair right
That's
there.
what we're
Right
doing. But you know,
thank you.
She's one of the dopest sisters you're gonna find, and so is Megan McNeil, who we have.
Thank you.
I don't know. So I get mad at myself because like when I was, I put on the shows and stuff, right? And I got the space, and I was like, I'm gonna have everybody sign this wall. Everybody that performs on the stage is gonna sign the wall, and I was like, no, this is my actual wall, fam. I'm not gonna have them do that.
That'd be dope though.
It would be dope, and I wish I had everybody that hit that stage to actually sign it, because Megan blew that joint down one night, and I wish I had her name on the wall.
Can I help you with that?
For sure.
So how many years ago was that you did it?
In the last couple of years.
Okay, so you do a reunion?
Yeah, for
Call
sure.
everybody back and be like, we're gonna have her day signing.
Yeah, because
and
it's been bananas. Some of the people who have hit a stage that is like literally in my basement, Keish. Like and some of the dopest performers have hit that doggone.
You should do that. Can I also address the comment from the brother who
you can
said
address whatever you like.
So here's the thing about history. And I definitely think that we should make sure that we know we support those who are doing work right now, those who are just truly conscious and who are trying to uplift and better our community. But I also believe that too often we bury and we erase. You have to dig, right? So you in history books, and you will know all about the women and whoever, you know all about them now, but it's like who existed before, and we so busy looking at who's doing it now that we're not even looking at what has worked, what are the things that we've already had. Like, so many people think they reinventing something and everything's already been done. We had a whole playbook, and so for me, my thing is to completely constantly beat that drum, because people forget how great we have been on our own, of our own accord. People forget how much we've built from nothing in the struggle. This woman, Susan King Taylor, didn't have a school building, right? She just came out of slavery. So she was able to educate, she was able to build on that. So I say, it's great to know who's doing work now, but don't discredit or discount history. And I think, unfortunately, for our community, that's the downfall of us, is we don't have that Sankofa moment. We don't go back and get what we've already done. That's why we flailing about right now, when this should be the precipice of the greatest moment in our history. Like, we are living on building something so new, so different, but we keep trying to just run in circles and reinvent, when it's like the blueprint is already laid. Go back and get your history. That's me.
Real spill. I think we bury so much, so many resources, so much information, so much knowledge. Every day we literally burying it because we are not, passing down that information. We're not sitting at the foot of those who have walked before us to understand their journey, to help, shine some light on our own journey, and learn the do's and the don'ts. I think that it's all valuable, but unfortunately, we don't pass those things down. We don't have the intergenerational conversations that we need to have, and also we don't just go back and do research on our own in large part. And so, we got a lot of jewels that are buried, bottom of the ocean. You're talking about this transatlantic slave trade, like, bottom of the ocean or cemeteries or whatever.
I think it's the difference between victimization and volunteering, though, too, right? I just asked my son the other day, I asked him, I said, what's the difference between somebody who can't read and somebody who doesn't read? And for like 10 minutes, he was trying to come up with an answer for that. And I was like, there's no difference. If you can't do it and you don't do it, it's the same value set. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's a flag that we carry here.
That's the truth.
Right? That's a flag that we carry in this room, specifically like earlier. Well, last week we had, Keith, you hip to this dude named.
If you don't do it and you can't do it, it's the same value. I like that.
S. Dilettanus.
I heard of
Six-figure
him. I
Dilla.
just heard of him like recently.
So he was a young boy. He went to college with me. I didn't realize he was making the kind of name that he was kind of making out here. But he does this kind of historian thing about the city specifically. And he came on the show and he was having a conversation about a plethora of things, right? But the wealth of information was way beyond even in my scope. And I don't say that like I'm brilliant or nothing, but I read a lot. You know what I mean?
Can I ask you a question?
What?
How old do you think you are?
I'm old, G.
He a young boy. Dilla's like 40 years old.
He young to me. It's still. I'm an old spirit too. I've been here a couple times.
That's why I'm asking you, how old do you think you are? I know how old you actually are.
Fam.
How old do you think you are?
I've been here a few times.
God, something is wrong with you.
He a young boy.
I'm 73,000 years old. He a young boy. This man 40 years old with kids.
I heard him say he went to school with me, and I'm like, if you went to, but go ahead. I get the point.
Sorry.
You know what I mean? But just in general, like him having a conversation, like, damn, that's deep. Damn, that's, and we don't know, right? And we don't know because we just had a conversation about the Meghan Markle. You know what I mean? And I made light of it.
Talked about her?
I made light of it because I don't care. You know what I mean?
That's not important news?
But it's news, though, right? But it could absolutely be important news depending on the perception that you take from it, right? So you know how much of our community is ingratiated with that conversation, right? So let's take on that conversation. Let's take on the conversation of the royals and why they matter to our community specifically. Well, they are the inventors of white supremacy.
They really are.
So your investment in this idea, to me, is questionable, right? But if you don't have that history, that understanding that they are the pinnacle of white supremacy, then you're not investing from that vantage point. You're investing from a very shallow soap opera-ish kind of statement. Oh, it's a lot of money here. It's on Oprah. That kind of silly shit. So in the context of history, yeah, it can become an important story. But we got to understand the history of even the royals. You know what I mean?
I ain't gonna lie. I did binge The Crown on Netflix.
I thought you were talking about what I did last night. I'm like, how you know I was binge drinking Crown last night?
I did binge on that.
I'm not hip to The Crown. What's that?
It's just a drama. It's like real. It's based on the real life monarchy. I think that in terms of just why we don't value history or value elders and what they bring to the table is because we always allow white American standards to tell us what's valued and who is valuable, right? So let's say Tim Black. Tim Black is 100 and what he just make
137 years old.
102, 3.
One of them.
102.
He old.
Because he made 100 last 2 years ago.
Yeah,
he's over 100, right? But Dr. Timuel Black has been here forever amongst black Chicagoans. Same thing for Barbara Starks, right? We can go and name all the elders, right? But you don't see them being championed. Not the ones that's moving and shaking. I'm talking about the ones who just have that knowledge. You could just sit down with them. Sam Greenlee, for example, right? White American, white Chicago was not riding for him or holding him up. And if you look at him, right, on the surface, you look at him, you think like this old drunk, bum, whatever people may ascribe. But Baba Sam Greenlee was one of the most brilliant, most deep thinking brothers that was so far ahead of his time, right? Everything he was laying down for us would be jewels right now, diamonds to have right now. But because there was no birthday party, no key to the city for him. But this man made The Spook Who Sat by the Door. Classic. But how many black people our age do you hear bringing up Sam Greenlee?
Only nibble.
How many people when they these intelligent, in intelligentsia, how many times are they have a panel and they bring in somebody who don't have this degree, who didn't write that book or didn't write that. And I think that's the other thing too, right? Like not valuing those people who
are unvalidated in white space.
They're the lived experience, and they may not have the perfect diction, depending on what you call perfect diction, right? Because I think AAVE is the best diction, but they don't have that tongue. Their tongue is very native. But
what's AAVE?
African American Vernacular English, Ebonics. Black people talk.
I'm with it.
Yeah, and then somebody gonna start saying how that's not there's no such thing as talking white. That's a whole different conversation. Y'all might want to invite me back for, but it is because you get the nasality.
Let's just get it all out now.
Because you get the nasality, you know what I mean, and then you start talking like that. That's a little different than just saying words and enunciating them correctly and projecting correctly. Because now you're in your nasal and your tone, and then you do things. Yeah, so.
Yeah, no, that's real.
Yeah.
It's
so
not just
I
the
think-
word choice.
Yeah, it's not just word choice. It's not just knowing how to use grammar. It's not just you knowing how to use syntax. It's your inflection.
It's the pattern. It's everything.
It's the inflection. It's the intonation, which makes Ebonics a real language. And in linguistics, linguists will tell you that Ebonics is a real language. But back to the point.
And low-key, they want to talk like us.
They really do. Like can we curse?
Yeah,
on
we
here?
the shit.
Like we the shit.
Big
and we don't
facts.
even know. Like we don't even understand that. Like.
I think
It's
that
sad. So that's my seven. That's why I big up black women every single day, because you're not gonna discard Black History Month and then be like, yeah, now it's time for women of color. No, it's not. We're continuing Black history.
Yeah, no, I feel that, and I really like that piece about how we talking. We had that conversation here a lot, just about being intentional about showing up in the
Will
spaces.
you promise to do that? Like you use AAVE all the time? Will you pledge to do so?
I don't know, because I steer away from African American a lot.
Well, just say black vernacular English.
Yeah, I can rock with that. Okay. I can rock with that.
Will you pledge to do that?
I don't even know no other language.
You won't code switch, will you too?
I don't even know any other.
Nah, but we had that conversation a lot to make sure that we are.
I say Delta. Oh, you can't even understand. Oh,
the Delta bodies from down there.
Absolutely.
Down the Delta. Yeah, it's just important. And I think that for people who have access to certain spaces, I think it's imperative that we show up in those spaces authentically and not show up in those spaces, trying to sound or be like them. It's like, nah, that's the reason why those doors continue to be shut in our face. That's the reason why they're able to perpetuate the narrative that we are incapable of being in those spaces, because they think that the black people who are in those spaces, oh, y'all are different. No, the fuck I ain't, fam. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm from 71st Street. We talk like this. We walk like this. And I think that when we get in those spaces, it's imperative for us. It's incumbent upon us to show up authentically, because that is what's going to break down some of those walls. That's what's going to knock. Oh, Herb's different. You got Herb fucked up. You know what I'm saying? And if you do, that's Herb's fault. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So I don't know if that's going to knock down them walls though. I think,
not in totality.
I think
for sure,
we got to be intentional in building our own walls.
That's what I'm
always
saying.
Agreed.
I think their standard is going to continue to be their standard, and we have to create our own. It's just really gonna be that simple.
And just valuing that what we got is legit. Like we don't need to get into their spaces. You know what I'm saying?
But
I'm
therein
not saying
lies the dynamic though,
Yeah.
Keish, right? That's the conversation right there, the value, right? It's not that we change how we show up because we value them. It's we change how we show up because we value the positioning. And we want to be next to the positioning, right? What does success look like? Right. So if I need to take these steps to get to success, i.e., I'm going to take whatever these steps are.
So we need to change our
But before we
view
move
of success.
too fast, I want to backtrack a little bit because you was talking about Sam Greenlee. You talked about Baba Tim Black or whatever. I'm with it. I agree. But then I think about it, and I say, shit, how many of our peers know who them people are? Our peers.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's our peers, right? They're 50 years removed from us. But then we got kids. You know what I mean? And I saw Sister Soldier on something the other day talking about the release of her new, what's the first book that was really popular? The Winter book.
Yeah.
Coldest Winter Ever.
Coldest Winter Ever. So she just released part 2 of that. And she was getting interviewed. And she said something I thought was intriguing. She was talking about how she stays connected to the youth. She was like, I got nieces. She's like, I got my own son, but I don't have any daughters. But I got nieces who, I keep close to me so I can know what's going on in the culture. She's like, but what's interesting, man, is like, she's like, they don't listen to nothing I fucking say. You know what I mean? Everything I say to them is, oh, you an old head, you don't know what you're talking about. And it just was reminiscent of conversations I have with my children. Like every time I talk to my son, it'd be funny, man, we talking about hip hop or something, oh, you don't know nothing, you old. And his favorite rapper is Lil Herb, right? I can touch Mickey, I can get on the phone with Lil Herb in 5 seconds, right? So in a basketball game, I introduce him to Herb, and now it's like, oh, my mind's blown, my daddy know Herb. But the disconnect that he thinks we have is way larger, and he approaches it different than even I approached it with my father. I always value what my old man had to say. I think Eric does at some levels, but he plays it like, get your old ass out of here. And I think culturally, that's a new thing, even with that generation. It's like a larger disconnect. They put less value in knowing what the old heads got to say. It's easy to remove your value by saying, "Oh, you old and out of touch." I don't think that was the same with my generation.
And the reason I think that's the reason, and you probably gonna push back on this a little bit, but for me, I think church, right? And the PBS special on the Black church came out the other day or last week.
I want to see that. I've been hearing about that.
It's dope. right? But for us, the black church, if you were raised in the black church, you had to spend time, like that was the most intergenerational time you were going to have. And most of us grew up with a grandparent in our household. So you grew up with your grandparents. So you understood, like you had that respect because Granny was the boss. Like she was over everybody. You know what I mean? And what they did or taught. And so Granny was going to church or whatever Granny was doing, she exposed you to and you respected that. And I think, unfortunately, yet again, our dynamics, the way that we are communal, the way that we are familial, that's been broken down because now it's every household to themselves. And so ain't no granny or no grandma in the house. They live in a whole separate place and maybe sometimes a state away. That just breaks down. Everything that worked for us has already been done. If we can get back to it, then Eric will. If Eric was around your dad, there's no way he wouldn't have thought he was the flyest, dopest dude in the world, right? And so I think that's what the disconnect is, and I just wish that we could value what our elders bring. That's why girls like me does Sankofa nights. That's why we open every session we do with a herstory moment. Every girl in my program is going to know who a contribution of a black elder. They're going to know it. They're going to have examples, and they're going to have a connection to why it's relevant now, right? So what is the person that's taking on that baton doing right now? We all have to have that. And so even if Eric don't respect it coming from you two, he'll respect it if he in a program, a rites of passage program, right? He'll respect it if the basketball coach is talking about it. If they do a lesson around this elder for basketball, they all gonna respect that. We got to implement these lessons in our everyday.
I think that, it's important like that we continue to drop jewels, whether we think the shorties are picking them up or not. Because they are getting them, and they will remember those things, and they will, display those types of things. You mentioned like how it might have been different, in terms of, how you listen to your father or to elders, but also I've heard you say as much as you always thought, your father was God. You often say that, you was, 25, 30 before the shit sank, before the shit they sank in. Like, oh, he was right all the fucking time. And so I think that you can get some of that from Eric too.
Yeah, because when they talking, we all like talking under our breath, and they like, I can hear you, but Eric, we rolling our eyes the same way these kids did. The only difference in them and us is we couldn't say we ain't want to hear. We couldn't have an option. We didn't have no option, right?
Couldn't.
But we couldn't smack our lips or go in a room or tune them out or whatever. So
close the door.
It's a different frequency too.
For sure.
It is.
And my kids might be a little bit special in a sense, but I fully identify what Keith's saying about the grandmama's existence or even the grandfather's existence. Like I grew up in a community where I spent every day at my grandparents' house at some level. You know what I mean? My children, one on my side, both of their grandparents are passed away, and then the other grandparents live out of state, so they don't have that kind of familiar relationship. But in general, there's this kind of new push, and I think, well, I don't want to say Boosie speaks to it, but this is kind of the new frequency. Like she was like these new grannies, aka GGs, is going to the club with the grandkids, child.
Now see,
like it's a different frequency. It's a very different frequency.
Now see.
Go. I did that on purpose. Go, Keith. Go. 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 Battery your back. Battery your back.
I'm just going to say GG's ain't in the club by themselves because there got to be some granddaddies in there too. So we ain't going to put this all on black women, right? If it's a grandmama, it's a granddaddy. So what's the granddaddies doing? All right.
They be dead, though.
Oh,
the
no,
granddaddies died in 52 these days.
What?
Let's keep it a buck. Let's keep it a buck. Black life is hard. Let's keep it honest around here.
That is as good a place as any to take a quick break. We'll take a real quick break, Sko. We'll come back on the other side. We'll have more discussion on I Said What I Said.
WIFTVPM. Sissy's Taco Bar Pop-Up is back with more hours and more days. Check them out at their new pop-up location at The Woodlawn, located 1200 East 79th Street. Sissy's Taco Bar offers authentic street tacos infused with international soul. Now every Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday at The Woodlawn from 12 p.m. to 7 p.m. New vegan tacos have been added to the menu too. Visit sissytacobar.com for more info.
Rogers, let me ask a question. Do either that son or your grandson smell like transmission fluid? We trying to find Ruthie a husband. You funny ladies.
Trying to find Ruthie her husband.
We trying to find Ruthie a husband.
You heard that good,
Let me ask you, Rogers, what does Ruthie need to do to find her husband?
I listen to her little voice. I like that little passive voice she got.
Hey, she say...
I know you kind of small, ain't you?
She said you got a pension?
Huh?
She said you got a pension.
Look here, I'm coming down to where you on station is located at? Where y'all located?
We down here in Bronzeville. Look, this is what we gonna do. We gonna get you, we gonna do a love connection off the line. Rogers, I want to tell you, man, thank you so much for calling.
You all downtown somewhere?
Yeah, we downtown. I'm gonna put
y'all talking about it. Matter of fact, I'm gonna get the address. I'm gonna come into y'all station one morning.
We gonna have you come down. We gonna have you and Ruthie, and we gonna have you sit
I'm
right
an early bird anyway.
Ruthie, you can be the grandmama, the great grandmama of over 110 children.
I love big families.
You know what I'm saying? 110.
Parenting in a Pandemic, powered by the Chicagoland Mom Squad, hosted by me, Tennille Jackson. Today's guest will be Beulah McLeod. We know her and love her first and foremost here at What's in It for the Black People Media. We also know her and love her in the Chicagoland Mom Squad. Her life's work has been about leveling the playing field so that no matter what a child's zip code or economic status might be, he or she would have access to high quality education. What principles and values have been the most important for you when it comes to raising your daughter?
First of all, consistency, discipline, boundaries with a lot of love, right? So from the time Asia was young, like she had a bedtime. We would
say that again out loud for the people in the back.
She had a bedtime. And no matter, it's interesting because my ex-husband and I have been divorced for like over a decade now, but we tried as much as possible to kind of mirror each other in terms of routines and habits, right? Okay. So if she had a bedtime at my house, she had a bedtime at his house. We tried to do that in tandem. Exposure is key. So exposing her to as many things as possible, as many opportunities as possible, allowing her to explore as many of her interests as she wanted to. And I think that's paid off because she's a creative child who now, and you know that she started her own business during the pandemic and just found really creative ways to keep going. So I think it's important that if children have interests, that you allow them to explore them because you never know where they're going to end up or what they'll land on. And she laughs to this day and is like, Mommy, thank you so much for just letting me try different things.
WIFTVPN. Yeah, man. Ideas, man.
You don't have to find me. I'm walking right behind you. It's so clear to see that you wanna be free. You don't have to find me. I'm walking right behind you. It's so clear to see that you wanna be free.
Let's go.
Standing my ground, I can't mess around now. It's like my time is in a bottle, captured by your love, yeah. Now I know women's got this thing going on. We can't stay around so long, but I wanna come correct. Baby, get your foot off my neck. You don't have to find me. I'm walking right behind thee. Understand clearly, yeah, that you wanna the time that you spend making me think within. Is the trust still beginning? Fade away from beginning of the day. I can see you trembling times, and I can see your wandering mind. Is it me considered? Shoot us with it. See, you don't have to.
We are back. I hear you too. Go ahead.
Maybe we should do something safe like Come to America. Did y'all talk about that yet?
We did talk about that. You missed that part.
B-movie, you know.
Sko, who is that on that track?
This is Maurice Mahone.
That's one of my favorite ones.
This is,
That's one of my favorite ones.
I had to
on
get a
it.
copy of this one.
Yeah.
Chicago artist.
He been on the Book of Dawn yet?
Mm-hmm.
Dang, I gotta go back and watch the episode. Yeah, I like this track a lot. That one dope. I wasn't even in the right part. Anyhow, I'm sorry. Anyway, if you just tuned in, this is I Said What I Said each and every weekday 3 to 6 p.m. right here on What's in It for the Black People Media Network. Myself and Toussaint Werner are here, and we're discussing issues that are impacting the black community. Thank y'all so very, very much for tuning in. As always, we appreciate you. We appreciate your input to the conversation. It is certainly valued. If you are watching on Facebook, what's happening? If you are watching on YouTube, what's happening? We appreciate y'all. Also appreciate the good sister Lakeisha Gray Sewell. She is in the building. Keish, thanks for taking the time out of your schedule.
I'm always elated and honored to be asked to be an illustrious guest with you all. This is really, it's not often that I get to be on a show where you all are hardworking. You're hardworking like Doug Banks, Tom Joyner. You're here every
The
day.
hardest working man.
The hardest working in radio. I'm really, this is a pleasure. Thank you, Toussaint, for asking me.
Thank her.
Oh,
I don't know why y'all act
I
like
don't
that.
know why he do that. See, when you try to be nice to people,
you're not
She being facetious.
I was being genuine.
That's all cap.
I was genuinely.
I was accepting it.
Get mad because I recognize her BS.
I was accepting it.
Did you hear the genuine? Did you hear the genuine? It was genuine.
Thanks.
It was authentic.
I appreciate it.
Now, see, if I had told you.
So we stopped right
It
now.
sound. I heard the sincerity.
You hear the sincerity?
I heard the
God,
sincerity.
Normally, I
Keith.
tell a nigga, no.
I heard the sincerity, Keish.
I was trying to come from a good space of
We
saying I appreciate being on your show.
You're
you
welcome.
know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for coming.
Listen, man, one of the things that's going on right now, where we're talking about, women's history and women's role in society in America, and specifically President Joe Biden. Yeah, he formally established ESCO, and that's about where my money. I'm not talking about the stimulus bill, although that's coming out this week.
Next week.
Yeah, $1,400 something. I should file taxes sometime, and then maybe I'll get one.
I know a guy.
Hey, tell him to call me. Biden is formally established a new gender policy council, and they are charged with overseeing and establishing equity and equality throughout America in the workplace, in the schoolhouse, all these different places. And I read the article, and I feel like they're kind of dancing around this gender thing in terms of like transgender conversations and everybody's right to decide, hey, mommy, today I'm your daughter. Like, I know I went to sleep as your son, but when I wake up, I'm your daughter now, right? And I think that's a part of the conversation that is played into this. But the article isn't that long. I'll read it to y'all real fast. It says President Biden, and this is on The Hill. It's written by Morgan Chalfant. Anyhow, it says President Biden will sign an executive order Monday, today, establishing the Gender Policy Council within the White House to focus on uplifting the rights of women and address gender-based discrimination and violence. He will also sign an executive order directing the Department of Education to review the Title IX regulation issued by the Trump administration to determine whether it is consistent with the policy of the Biden administration that students be guaranteed education free from sexual violence, administration officials said. The orders come on International Women's Day, and he will sign them alongside Vice President Harris, the nation's first female vice president. Biden and Harris had announced plans before the inauguration in January to establish the Gender Policy Council. The council will have an explicit role in both domestic and foreign policy development, an administration official said. We know that the full participation of all people, including women and girls across all aspects of our society, is essential to the economic well-being, health, and security of our country and of the world. The council will be headed by Jennifer Klein and Julissa Reynoso, who is the chief of staff to First Lady Jill Biden, and will include 4 other staffers, including special assistant to the president on gender-based violence and 2 special assistants on gender policy. The council will address a range of issues, including combating gender bias and discrimination, increasing economic security and opportunity, addressing the needs of caregivers in the United States, improving access to health care, and combating gender-based violence. It is expected to put a particular focus on addressing the coronavirus pandemic and its disproportionate impact on women by engaging the White House Coronavirus Task Force. The executive order Biden will sign requires the council to submit a government-wide strategy for advancing gender equity and equality in the United States and globally, and to report on its annual progress, according to administration officials. The council is likely to be similar to the White House Council on Women and Girls convened under former President Obama, but an administration said the name change was intentional to reflect that gender discrimination can happen to people of all genders. Toussaint, how many genders are there, for the record?
I think I read 60 somewhere.
Okay. The second executive order Biden will sign will
I'm serious.
No, seriously, they're saying there's like 60 genders. Like, I know there's 2.
It's a spectrum. That's what they usually say. It's a spectrum.
Top
They say
might
it like
be
that too.
different
It's that voice. That's not AVVN. How do you say it?
Pun intended.
It's a spectrum.
Oh my God, that was totally funny.
So
How we say that in our community? G, you weird.
that shit's whack, dog.
Right. Sit your clown ass down somewhere.
Goof ass.
Right,
So
goof
here's
ass.
the thing.
Too goof ass out here.
Goof ass one of my
Here's the
favorite
thing.
words.
Like, okay, I get it. It's cool. Obama had the White House Council on Women and Girls. That was his.
Mm-hmm.
So this takes the place of that.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just gonna say to all of y'all Chucks and Pearls, deuces, because that shit is out of there. There's no, all the genders ain't wearing Chucks and Pearls. So there's no representation for you.
First
thing.
female VP get in office, and this women and girls language don't cut it.
It's out of there. So the Chuck the Pearl shit is dead, right? So that should have you look at something. But here's my thing. I'm all about inclusivity and acknowledgement. But here's where I stand. Women and girls are women and girls who they have issues specific to their experiences that need to have specific responses. That does not negate, discount, or erase the need for gender equity or whatever you want to call it. There's a space for that too. I'm just really at a point where I'm really frustrated with this whole either or. So it can't be, right? And just the whole bathroom conversation, right? I don't mind. You have a bathroom. You need a bathroom for yourself. You should have a bathroom for yourself.
Right.
Your bathroom does not have to be my bathroom, right? Maybe is it 350? How many genders is it? 56 bathrooms.
Right.
So maybe we need 56 bathrooms. But why is my bathroom?
How can you just decide you can infringe
Why
on mine?
you coming in? Right. You know what I'm saying? So this is a whole different conversation, and I know people probably go.
I gotta accept your penis-having son going into the bathroom with my daughter because he woke up and said he's a girl now.
He identifies as a girl.
No.
My dog. I mean, no matter.
I identify that as weird and keep him out the bathroom with my daughter. How about that? The article goes on to say, the second executive order Biden will sign will direct a sweeping review of all existing Department of Education regulations, orders, policies, and guidance to ensure they comport with the Biden administration's policy. The Trump administration Title IX rule finalized last year bolstered the rights of those accused of sexual misconduct on college campuses. I'm going to read that again. The Trump administration Title IX rule finalized last year bolstered the rights of those accused of sexual misconduct on college campuses. The rule was widely criticized by Democrats and those advocating for victims of sexual assault. Biden promised to quickly end the previous administration's Title IX rule on the campaign trail. The Biden administration policy that is very clear is that all students should be guaranteed an educational environment that is free from discrimination, including discrimination in the form of sexual harassment and including discrimination on the basis of sexual orientation or gender identity, an administration official said. Biden is expected to speak at the event Monday afternoon alongside Harris and other senior officials.
Hold them accountable.
Yeah, so I saw the same article because I looked it up before you started reading. Not the exact same article, but I found an article on CNN, and I just highlighted a quick quote. It says, the White House Gender Policy Council will be an essential part of the Biden-Harris administration's plan to ensure we build more equal and just democracy by aggressively protecting the rights and unique needs of those who experience multiple forms of discrimination.
And so my experience as a woman, though, is not only couched in discrimination. So I don't need a council that's only looking at my discrimination. That's not the totality of everything that happens for women. Women have birth issues. They die. We have mortality issues. Right. We have all kind of issues that are separate and apart, right? That need separate attention. And so I don't mind that you have a spectrum. Well, how you say it too?
It's a spectrum.
It's a spectrum. So I don't mind the spectrum, but I'm saying over here in this lane of the spectrum, there are certain things that need to be addressed in a certain way that have nothing to do with that spectrum down there.
Mm-hmm.
That spectrum will never experience this.
I think that's the thing, though, right? Though I think that's where the rubber meets the road, though. You know what I mean? So let me just finish in the statement. It says,
I'm sorry.
Multiple forms of discrimination, including people of color, lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, and queer people. Reynoso said, that's the lady or whatever. But even to your point, though, right, that's where the rubber meets the road and how politics works, right? It's not about your birth issues, G. It's not. I don't give a shit. You understand?
Tell the truth.
That's not the conversation we're having. Like, we talked about language the other day. It's like we don't use language. Language uses us. Right, and it's those intricate details within the language that really tells you where people stand. This ain't about your ass. This is about Larry, who then turned to LaWanda. This is about LaWanda, who then turned into Lero. You know what I mean? Because that is the new way. He's just a jerk. I'm trying to be serious. But it's serious. Those are the only conversations we have. It's like gay marriage. Like, it really does. And it captivates the conversation and the minds of
gets the people going.
The lowest level, then we maintain power and equity, right? All of this discrimination shit, let's keep it a buck.
I'm just trying to figure
all you
out.
1% white men, give me your motherfucking money. Let's distribute that money equally across this goddamn country. All these conversations go away. Period.
And it's not that I mind the conversation. Like, I don't mind the conversation. I'm just saying don't collapse the conversations. They're not all one conversation. Everybody can get a room. It's like Clubhouse. Everybody can get a room to discuss what they need to discuss to have their issues addressed, because we do know that there is discrimination. We do know that there is a lot of hatred and a lot of harm that comes to especially transgender black
women.
What is it?
Transgender women.
Transgender women. We know there's a lot of discrimination that happens with that Toussaint stop.
Relax, bro. Relax, bro.
I didn't say nothing.
Relax.
So that does need to be addressed. They do deserve to be protected, right? They do deserve and we all have family, right? We all have family who have in one way, shape, or form are a part of LGBTQ the spectrum, right?
100%. Absolutely.
And we all love our family. We love people. So I'm not dismissing anybody's needs to be heard, to be valued, to be respected, to be protected, to have a voice, to be able to achieve and accomplish things. But what I do know, and I hold this fundamentally close, is that, again, everybody's issues is not everybody's issues. I'm not a woman of color. I am a black woman. So as a black woman, my issue is not the same as a woman who is Hindu. My issue is not the same as a woman in Chinatown. My issue is not, you understand what I'm saying? So don't lump me in with anybody. And as as they call it, right, cisgendered woman, there are issues that
What does cis mean? Like, I've heard that 1,000 times.
Why we got to go into this?
No, I'm serious.
No, I'm serious too.
I'm so serious, though.
I don't know what it
People
means.
say that all the time, and
I hear it a lot.
I don't know what the acronym stands for.
You're cisgendered, I'm cisgendered.
Yeah, somebody said that to me, and I don't feel comfortable answering to it because I don't know what the acronym stands for.
It means just what you said. When the thought that you have around the traditional thought of women and men, like because you're born, because your gender and your sexuality are the same, right? That thinking that the heterosexual is the norm, right? I have a penis, therefore I am a man, and I'm attracted to women. That's the whole cisgender.
That's those two gender people.
Identity.
That's those people who recognize it as just two genders.
No, my gender matches my sex.
Yeah.
I'm a woman with female parts.
Right. Mm-hmm. That's cisgender, but in the way that people think.
And if you're a woman with,
I am as I was born to be.
But see, the thing about it is that's the
you identify as a woman.
That is the scientific way of saying it. But the way people think about things, right? People think of this is the way if you talk to a cisgender person, that's why they gonna talk about themselves. I'm a man. You know what I mean? They don't take into Toussaint say it
why can't we be transracial?
Spectrum. Who the fuck? Who wants
Say it again,
to be?
Keisha. Who the fuck?
I don't want to be. I want to be black.
It's the opposite of
Like, when we
transgender.
go to the bank trying to get along, why can't we be transracial?
Fuck that.
I'm
transgender.
I'm
Jewish.
That's what Cat Williams said about he was going off on Michael Jackson. He was like this fucking Villa Lago shit. Who the fuck you know ever called Villa Lago? If you could catch Villa Lago, it'll be a line long as hell. You mean to tell me I can fix my credit by catching this shit? Like.
Now with that big ass nose, you can't.
It's so nasally.
Right.
So somebody says cisgender all these times. Oh wow.
Cisgender, all these
Fuck
terms.
all that shit. I'm a man. A man. That's what it said. Because I want to read it.
Diane Scott says social engineering. Like I am not going to listen. I'm
not making fun of it. I legitimately didn't know it. I don't know what it means.
It's a lot. It's a study. It is a study unto itself, and you do have to consistently be abreast of the ever-changing and fluid ways of identifying because they are ever-changing, and people are finding it. The world to be a place that is accepting and embracing the fluidity of, I guess the movie Soul kind of gets it. Like we're just a spirit, your spirit can be anything. You can feel like a butterfly some days. You know what I mean? You're a spirit. You're a spirit. You're not a sex or a gender. I guess that's the way that the world is moving.
I saw a comment. Somebody said that they like conversing about like removing gender from the birth certificate.
Whose birth certificate? I'm past the time of giving birth, but I'd be damned if you change shit on anybody that I give birth to.
Like
no,
my son come out male on the
it?
joint.
What would it be? Where do you go from there? It just becomes a pronoun at that point. It was born today.
So like you even like now you click
they
on
was born today.
You go on like people's social media page
but when
or whatever.
they say they, I always think like it's that. This is me and my old way of thinking that I have to unlearn.
That's one person they ain't.
So yeah, I thought they meant like you thought you have like multiple personalities.
Like plural, like.
No, seriously, I thought it was like multiple personalities. That's why you were they.
Gender fluid.
Oh, so you both.
I have a male friend.
Yeah, I'm both.
A male who's a cis male presenting as a female.
I got a dark-skinned friend look like Michael Jackson.
Got
a light-skinned friend look like Michael Jackson.
So wait, Sonya. So they can operate off of either or. They can be attracted to either or.
Mm-hmm. But he likes males. So male identifies as a male, presents as a female. So where's the hair, the nails, the makeup?
Oh.
And likes men.
But he'll say like I'm a man.
Ain't that just never mind. I ain't gonna say
it's hard. It's hard for me. It's
explaining
difficult.
to me, and I'm trying to.
No, it's
learn
difficult.
it myself.
Yeah.
Okay, I get it.
Whatever, man. I don't care
I'm
what
gonna
you
hang
do.
out with Sonya more because I really do. Because of the work I do, I have to.
Yeah, me too.
You have to. You don't ever want anybody to feel. You don't want nobody. You never want anybody to feel as if they're not valued. You don't want anybody to feel that they don't matter, that they can't be loved, that they're not free to love. Some of the most beautiful souls, like we discount and we don't allow them to be who they are. I never want that to
Why
be.
do everybody gotta matter?
Shit, everybody.
I'm
What the
being
hell you
selfish.
mean why everybody gotta matter? What the hell?
I mean exactly that. Why does
Why the hell
everybody?
everybody has to matter, Toussaint? Because when everybody was in their mama's womb, if they weren't supposed to matter, then the mama could fucking drink cyanide. What do you mean? Why people matter? Because your life, the moment you're conceived, you matter.
And
Everything
that's great
in the
for
world
people that
conspired for
matter
you to
too.
get to here.
Everybody ain't gotta matter to me.
No, everybody don't have to matter to you necessarily. Everybody, like we don't matter to Chauvin. You know what I mean?
Right.
People don't matter to him. You can be that way. Anybody can be that way. You can choose that you don't want other humans to matter to you.
It's not a choice that I'm just indifferent. I don't care.
Right. You can be that kind of person. But hopefully you expanding your consciousness to know that all of us deserve.
I'm not saying you don't deserve. I think those are different conversations.
Matter, deserve.
But
like why care?
Yeah, but I don't care. Like
you don't care about what? What specifically?
I don't care enough to invest in even learning what cis means.
Why though? But that's not right though, Toussaint.
It depends on your perspective.
The perspective is I'm your cousin.
Okay.
And I identify as whatever you, because we never listen to this or care until it's our own. So I'm your cousin, and I identify as they, like Sonia just said. Now, any other time you love me, you care about me, but when you tell me that you don't care, that then makes me shrink myself. I have to fold into myself. I can't be fully who I am because my cousin, that me, my cousin don't care about. I don't matter to him. That's not right.
I don't know if that's how that translates either, though.
Yeah, it is though, but that's how they hear it.
I don't think so though.
They.
I can care. I got homosexual cousins.
Not just homosexual though. We talking more than just homosexual because we grasp homosexuality like that. We get that as Generation X. We there with that. We got that part. I think we struggle with the fluidity thing, and we're learning that, right? But what I would say is there are probably people on here watching you who identifies these ways and have for a very long time if they're our age, but have never been able to get the language to use it, to identify that way, have never been able to really show up that way. And that's not right, that they can't be who they are, because our language is that we don't give a fuck, or we not welcoming, or we don't care to learn. I don't ever want somebody to not feel validated and valued simply because of my own inability to comprehend something.
Can you identify the difference between a Korean and a Japanese person?
Can I? Yes. Only because.
And a Chinese person. I mean,
I can, and only because the only reason I can.
I don't give a fuck.
I can't.
But see, I did. I gave a fuck because.
Can, but I can't.
I gave a fuck because my husband. Well, he wasn't my husband at the time. My boyfriend's roommate was Japanese. My boyfriend also had another roommate who was another Asian persuasion. You care because you don't want to offend somebody. A Korean is not a Japanese, and a Chinese is not a Korean. And to those people, that's a hell of a difference. Mm-hmm. Is there a difference between, that's like saying somebody in here, and they Nigerian, Ghanaian, and Jamaican, and Black American, and you say, I don't give a fuck. Don't talk about your Ghanaian background, your Nigerian background, or your Black.
You putting sauce on it. You saying I don't give a fuck, don't talk about it. That's not what I'm saying.
What'd you say?
I'm saying I don't give a fuck.
Well, I'm saying if they talking to you and you say I don't give a fuck about.
Hold on, because I think I don't know that this is the point he's about to make. I think he's making a point that I'm kind of got in my head for not necessarily what you're saying, but what he means by I don't give a fuck. But I'll let you come with your own words before I tell you what I think.
Break it down. What you mean?
I don't give a fuck, right? In essence to the conversation around government and resources, I have my own interest, right? Whatever your interests are, salute. But it doesn't matter to me, right? That's why I asked you the question about the Japanese career. The Asian, sure, but I don't give a fuck. That's not my fight. You know what I mean? And because it's not my fight, I'm not vested. Now, in regards to like personal relationships with family or somebody else, even someone I just know that is engaging in that manner, however that might be, yeah, that's my personal relationship. So how I address you is based on my personal commitment to you. As the group, though, I don't care.
But that's not right, because let me not say it's not right. Let me not say it's not right. I don't want to tell you if it's wrong or right. But here's the thing. When we think about things on an individual level, that's not where change happens. Right, you can love your daughter, but dog every other woman or treat every other woman any kind of way. That don't help the totality of women's rights and women's protections. Right, so we can't just say because I care about my family and that one person or that two people I know. But then also, it's not about the sexual acts that we too often go to when we talking about gender and sexuality. We start thinking about their bedroom behaviors, which are completely different than wanting to matter. Then when somebody come in here with their nails done, hair laid, you watching The Chi, and you like, whoa, what the fuck? That's a Adam's apple, right? And then you like, fuck that. I ain't watching this shit. I don't want to see this. When you do that, right? You completely shut down. And let's just say in real life, right? If somebody in your family or in your community is sitting on the couch with you watching that and they see your reaction to that, that is a thing that silences. That's a thing that makes somebody question their whole existence of, do they matter? And you say you don't give a fuck, but you have to give a fuck about somebody's rights of not being killed by the police because they are black. Well, I can't say a man. Well, they're a transgender woman. And in the police's mind, you a little faggot or you a sissy and you trying to dress like a woman, and I'm gonna kill you because you a little faggot, which is what is happening. A lot. Transgender women
now,
are being
that
murdered.
Little F word, because I'm not going to say that word.
Mm-hmm. Ooh, what? Go ahead.
No, I'm just playing. I said, but if that's a black man, woman, whatever, if you're black, period. All right, you're part of my group. That's part of my concern, right? If it's not,
but that's
good
not
luck.
how it is, though, because transgender women are being murdered right now, and nobody talk. You can't tell me one hashtag you can think of about transgender.
I can't tell you one hashtag outside of the popular 5, though, so I'm not the barometer for that.
But what I'm saying is, why isn't one of those? Why isn't a transgender woman one of the 5? When the amount of time,
because it's only 5, and when you do the math doesn't add up for them to be
it
equated.
Does, though.
Not if it's 5.
Listen
not if
to
it's
what
5.
I'm saying. It does, though. It does, though. And that's the thing. But you wouldn't know that. And the world wouldn't know that because that's not what is perpetuated or shown in the media. They're not telling you the amounts of times that these people have been harassed, beaten, murdered.
I get it. I'm not arguing their oppression. That's not my argument.
Not just their oppression too, but the fact that they are being harmed. Like George Floyd had the knee in his neck. They are getting that same treatment at
still
alarming rates.
Right? I'm not arguing that happens. That's not my argument. My argument is, if you're black and you operate under that flag or under that banner, you still fit into my concern. You still fit into my group understanding of what I give a shit about. But those resources break down racially. That's how they break down. When them black dollars come, or when where do gay dollars go? Where do transgender dollars go?
Here's where I'll tell you they go. When you start saying stuff like that. A transgendered person, identifying as male or female. I don't know. Y'all know what I'm trying to say.
I just want to know what the resources
If they're homeless, that transgender person is probably that transgender young person is probably going to be fucking homeless for a very long time, extremely long time. A cisgendered homeless person is going to find a shelter that will take them in. They're going to find a home and housing way quicker. Those resources are going to go way quicker than somebody that identifies as transgender or gender fluid. So the resources may be for everybody, but because of systems and because of people with prejudices and discrimination are the ones who direct resources, who gets those resources does indeed break down in the black community. The same way you believe, and you've said it, the same way you believe that people with education and people with access get access to resources quicker because they higher up and can get it, and poor people don't. And we all black, right? But some of us ain't getting the same resources because we are closer to what is the standard. And that goes the same way when we start talking about gender fluidity. So I say again, I don't understand it. I'm the first one to say that I need some education around that shit. But I'm definitely
yeah, I had to see some data on that because I don't.
So what about?
I just got training in that.
What about
pronouns.
This level of I don't give a fuck?
What's your pronoun? I have to ask, what's your pronoun?
Yeah, that's where I want to be in this conversation. That's the level of I don't give a fuck that I'm saying. Like, not I don't give a fuck that you're being beat and murdered. I'm saying, like, if I fuck with you, I fuck with you. I love you because you're my cousin.
Yeah, but
I'm saying I don't give a fuck about like today you a boy, tomorrow you a girl. Like I'm not getting into that.
And
with
white
you.
people say the same thing about you.
What?
You're just my friend. I don't care. I don't see your color.
Herbert's kind of cool.
No, what I'm saying is,
in my group,
like this is my color.
I'm
so
saying,
how don't you see it? Like this is my color. And all I'm saying is, I see you. You are a man.
But I want you to call me.
I'm not really finna dive into this other thing. You can want me to call you whatever you want. If I don't, I'm gonna wake up and say I want you to call me white.
Exactly. And so all I'm saying to you is white people feel this. That thing that you're saying is the same thing that white people say. That they don't have to acknowledge.
No, but I'm not telling them to act. I'm not telling them to treat me other than what I am.
No, you're saying.
I'm telling white people that I'm black and that's okay, right? And because I am black.
But white people are saying, I don't give a fuck about any of that. You're human. We're all human.
What I'm saying is,
right, I don't see any color.
It's for who I actually am. And the other thing is, you telling me you're something other than what you actually are, and I'm saying, okay, that's fine. I'm not finna get into that.
But you're denying that. That's
I'm
a
not
different
denying
thing.
anything.
You said somebody's telling you who they are, and you're saying that that's not who they are.
No. You can be. I'm saying I don't care. I'm not going into that with you. I'm not finna be like, excuse me, sir. I think, ma'am, maybe tap somebody on the shoulder like, how should I address you? You look like a man. Is what I'm saying. Excuse me, sir.
Ooh.
You know what I'm saying? Excuse me, sir. That's all I'm saying.
That's how you feel, Toussaint?
Like it's not. I'm not
Toussaint,
devaluing
that's
you.
how you feel?
That's the level of I don't give a fuck I'm saying. Like,
that's how you feel. Is this a Herb and too? How you feel too?
I wasn't even listening to Herb.
That is how Herb feels. Like I fuck with you. I got love
I
for
invite
you. I'm not dealing with the rest of that. Like that's,
I invite you to.
It's too much.
I invite you to open yourself up to hearing from people who have different ways of identifying.
Mm-hmm.
And
I have some very strong relationships with people who were born a certain gender and now identify as another.
Okay, I know you.
All I'm saying is
white people say that all the time. My best friends are black. I get it.
I don't know how you're making that correlation.
Do is stop comparing ourselves to white people.
No,
I don't know how you're making that correlation. Like I'm missing that correlation that you're making.
Because you keep saying
that.
that.
Me and I turned it around. See, I did that.
Because you keep saying that. You using the same formula. You keep saying
it's
that
not the same equation.
Listen to what I'm saying. You're saying that somebody that you want white people to see you for who you are, a black person, which really
who I am though.
Which really is not
like not who I made up yesterday.
Which really is not.
I'm not mad white people don't treat me like a blue person.
Well, Rich really is not who you are because it's actually a racial construct. So you're not really that. If you really want to get deep into it,
I don't want to get that deep into it either. That's what I'm saying.
Here's the thing, though. If someone is telling you, you don't get to decide for someone who they are or how they see themselves. If somebody says to you that for you to respect my full humanity, I need you to see me as this. I am not. I know what you believe, but
I know what I see. You want me to say I see something I don't see?
So what you see is a physical.
My dog wake up like, hey, I'm a cat.
You have to ask the pronoun.
Now I'm buying kitty litter instead of taking them outside.
No, you have to say what.
I'm not doing that.
What pronoun?
I'm not finna play this game with you.
I just want you to see me and congratulate me on being able to stay out of this conversation.
I'm not. You know what I'm saying?
I'm so proud of
and
you.
so like
I'm growing.
Like if my dog was like, hey, I want you to treat me like a dog, then cool. I understand your plight there, right? And so that's like the white, like black people saying white people don't treat me like. I'm not trying to tell a white person to treat me like something else. I'm saying it's cool that what I actually am. Not this conversation like, well, I'm somebody else. That's cool. That's fine.
They don't think that there's somebody else.
I respect it and salute it.
They don't think there's somebody else. They think they're them. They think that they're them, and them are.
I respect it and salute that. What I'm telling you is,
how can you say you respect it and salute it when you say no? I don't see that. That's not what you are.
Because how else do you want me to see? I can only see what I'm looking at. You want me to tell me my eyes are lying to me and listen to what you're saying?
But that's what they're saying. The sex is what you can see. You can't see gender is what they're saying. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no. Sexuality is what you do in your bedroom. I don't give a shit what you do in your bedroom.
Sex is your parts, your body, your human, your biological parts. That's
sex and gender is the same thing.
No, it's not.
Like, what's your sex, male or female?
Women's History Month. What are we doing? Well,
I was just saying. I was just saying. I think this goes.
So who do we celebrate for Women's History Month?
Well, I don't know who.
Where do they come in?
I
Like,
what happens when we start celebrating Twan for Women's History Month? How do we do that?
Right? Can Andre show up at Women's History Month? Like, yeah, we did it, girl. Like, did we really do it, girl?
I'm not there. That's not me. There may be a transgender month, to celebrate.
That's a good idea.
And I would do that, but I will. And even though, however, some of the women who I have highlighted have identified, especially yesterday's women, Polly Murray.
Her name is Polly.
Mm-hmm. Polly and Audre Lorde. So there's some women who I have honored who did identify and did push back and identify as LGBT. Well, it wasn't LGBTQ at that time, but they identified as homosexual and lesbian. So I think that we make contributions as women. Right.
And I'm crazy because I'm
Alexis. No, you're Toyota.
And I'm crazy because I'm unwilling. I'm crazy because I'm unwilling to say it's a truck. Like,
I ain't laughing at that shit. Tucson, y'all going to
like,
hell.
no, like,
trying to catch me riding dirty.
Like, I'm crazy because I'm unwilling to say this.
Camry.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that is what happens when the world decides that everything's like this. Then anybody who's not now, I'm the crazy one because y'all change everything. Everything I can see is right, but then y'all flip and say no. This what you see ain't what you see.
Hold on, who the hell is y'all? Because I ain't say this
not
shit.
You.
I'm confused as hell about this shit.
The majority. Just said that. All I'm saying is, I see.
The shit is confusing as hell to me.
I see what I see.
I am.
That's all I'm
Sonya
saying.
just educated the hell out of me on this shit. I just say I'm open to learning because I know what it does to somebody to deny who they are. I know what it is to deny somebody's human. And I've seen girls in my program who are challenged. Like one of my very first years, early on, I'll never forget her. She's in 8th grade, but she was very clear about, and she wasn't like now. Like this was a while ago, so this was maybe 10 years ago.
Wow.
So she wasn't, she wasn't trying to be a stud or nothing, but she definitely presented and had back what we would call in our generation tomboyish, right? And we were talking one day, and she said, "Well, what if you don't even know what you like?"
Yeah.
And I had to stop, like, wow, because all we talk about is men, women, those type of relationships with boys, girls, and, fathers, mothers, right? I had to think, like, wow, I got to stop having these conversations because this completely denies this girl's experience, and it completely shuts her down. That ain't right.
Q, I see what you're saying.
What Q say?
Q says, Herb, if a white man walks up to you and calls you boy or nigger, how would you respond? I think that's what Keisha's trying to say.
Thank you, Q.
Not Q, thank you, Q.
Q is my dude. I love Q.
They are saying
he's agreeing with you.
They're saying something that I actually am not.
Tucson, wait a minute.
Not that I made this up in my head. I didn't make up in my head that I'm not a boy.
I'm not in this conversation.
You are. This is.
I've been reading comments.
You invited me.
You have to
You
ask
invited
them.
me on the show.
Yeah, but I haven't been listening to either of you. I've been reading comments.
Yes, the hell you have, because you just said Toyota or Avalon.
No,
I have
like
no
I
idea
didn't.
what the perspective is.
Like the white dude coming to me calling me a boy. Like I'm not making it up an idea in my head that I'm a man.
Show your artistry.
I'm not making up in my head that I'm not a nigger. I'm not a nigger and I'm not a boy. Like it's not.
But
it's not. I don't know how y'all are trying to make that the same thing.
See.
What?
That's what they see.
I'm telling you what I actually am. Y'all telling me about what people made up yesterday.
No, people made up black too. Did you know that? Did you know that?
African American, we can get off the color thing.
No. Race-wise. Did you know that somebody made that up? It's all a construct. And constructs change. And the construct in the 1600s made you black. The construct now is allowing people to be they, her, them,
see, this gets back to my I don't care.
Y'all are really trying to, like, we get into a
Who
space.
the fuck is y'all?
You and Q. Keisha and Q. That's who y'all is. Okay? You and Mark Quinn. That's who I'm talking to.
You would not last in the royal family, okay?
Y'all are
With that
seriously going to
attitude.
try and make it like I'm the crazy person because I see a man and I identify them as a man?
Somebody said it's
Y'all off
okay
the
to
chain.
celebrate. Hold on.
Excuse me. I got a question before you get into the comments that I've already read your
Y'all
name.
off the
No, the one
chain
that
right
asked
now.
about can his son
Question.
celebrate
I saw
women's
that.
history.
Yeah, I know. I didn't.
Everybody should be celebrating women's
Question
history.
to the classroom,
Black
please.
men
Question
too.
to the classroom.
Go ahead.
Race is a construct.
Yes.
Right? What was the construct built around? Why was it built in the first place?
You're just gonna stump us here.
No,
Tell
I'm not
us
trying
to.
to stump you. I'm asking the question. Why was it built? Why was the construct created?
I don't know.
We all
Why
the
was the
same
construct
people.
I just said I don't
we
know.
read the same shit and have the same
Why was
conversation.
the construct created?
To serve white supremacy. We know this shit.
Power, right?
Oh, okay.
Power, right?
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Power, right?
Tell us to.
Power, right?
Right.
To
Tell us.
maintain power, right?
Say right, man. Herb, would you say right?
I'm just waiting for the answer.
Engage her ass in the conversation. This is
He
what I
asked
think.
the fucking question. He keep asking. He keeps saying right. Say right.
No, you gave a goddamn diatribe before you said right.
Say right.
But anyway.
Herb, say right, please.
God, this is why I don't like inviting her here.
This is what y'all do.
He be waiting on me to get here.
This is what y'all do, man.
But if it's a construct to maintain or build power, then why should I care about that? Outside of the construct of me being a part of that power console.
Because the president just had a whole new committee formed for it, right? And that's where the money's going.
Same conversation.
Instead of,
which is why I asked, where does the money go? Where does the money go?
Shannon, I don't know what you're saying.
We
I'll have
laugh
to
and
reach
make
back
jokes
in
or
the
whatever,
comments.
but we can go to
Don't know
the
what
east
you're talking
side on
about.
71st Street right now, which is a
Boys
power
Town.
hub for black trans. I don't
Hey,
think
well,
trans.
we're not gonna call it
because
as
we gonna
Boys
say
Town.
the black LGBT
It's a
community.
black boys town.
Now,
What's
see,
wrong with that?
They begged me to get to this conversation
thought-
and
wait,
then don't listen to
is
shit
that
I got
right
to say.
here? I'm
You
right
understand what I'm
here.
saying?
Is that
I don't
offensive? I
understand.
thought
I
that
don't
was a real
understand.
thing.
So I'm going to let them have the conversation.
Boys town not a real thing?
Boys Town is a real thing.
Right.
71st and Jeffrey ain't Boys Town.
Shit.
It's Black Boys Town. And then so it's
I know that the
79th
pub is. I know that the pub is right there. I understand y'all referring to where the pub is.
And then so it's
But-
79th and hosted.
I'm trying to.
Now that's true.
But
It's really more like 76 and hosted.
I don't say that much.
72nd.
I don't know by the detail.
And they're prostitutes.
Where?
Or sex
On
work-
hosted?
working
I'm sorry.
people.
I'm sorry. They exploited.
Hosted. Jessica.
Hosted from
But at the core of it.
from Howard to 127. Hosted.
But at the core of it, you live on Hosted and Jeffrey. You could be Twan, Shaniqua, you can be where the hell you want. But at the core of it, when those resources come down, you are a nigga that lives on Hosted or 71st and Jeffrey. I.e., you go to school with the people on Hosted, i.e., you go to school with the people on 71st and Jeffrey. They are not busting down them resources like that.
That's not true.
Then what do people find more value in being and identifying as a gay black man than just a black man?
Because I'm gonna tell you why y'all ignoring this is not the truth, but it is the truth. If we can acknowledge that, Toussaint, you always the first one talking about class and how people that's black privileged people do this and do that and how they get resources, but you will not accept the fact that that this conversation dictates who gets access to what. Poor black people don't get the same access that rich black people get.
I think you're missing the
or
conversation
people that
I
think
made
they
when
rich.
I argue, right? Because I say there is no such thing as class in the
It
black
don't matter what you say, but you.
Now it don't matter what I say.
Because-
God damn it.
okay,
how,
I'm
how you
sorry.
gonna base your whole argument on what I say and then what I say
What
don't
I'm
matter?
saying to you is, you will say that it's not class, but you will sit up and you will point out all the ways that people have access. You have pointed out that 39th and King Drive is quite different than you say it's quite different than O Block. You will say that those are two different worlds, two different types of black people. Won't
What
you
do I
say that?
behind that, Herb? What do I say behind both of those conversations?
But
I
it's-
say it
That
all
the
time.
experience is the same. We go to the same gas station, same corner stores.
But I
It's
get
the illusion of class.
it don't matter. The illusion still puts you.
It
the
does
illusion,
matter.
The illusion puts you in a place where you get accepted into college and you get scholarships and you can move and you can rock and you can navigate this world with privilege and access that you can't get if you don't have access to it.
So you see how she got loud like that means
So the same thing happens for those who are dealing with LGBTQ or transgender or whatever. They do not have the same access and privilege as other people do, as cisgender people do. That's just a fact. You don't have to rock with them. You don't even have to discuss it. But don't not acknowledge the fact that it's true. A transgender person is not going to be able to run up in a police station and say that they got robbed, that they got raped, that anything happened to them, the way that a cisgender woman could and get a different response. Now that also changes dynamics when we talk about a white cisgender woman running in a police station and a black woman running. It's all levels to it. And the further you go away from what you say, what do you say? The illusion? The further you go away from the illusion, the worse you are treated. Can you not? Is that not something that you can see?
No.
There's an unspoken rule in debate that the person that bangs on the table is right.
Then goddamn it, then I'm right.
She can bang all she want. The real unspoken rule is that they are the who.
I don't do relationships, Gardens. I don't do relationship with nobody. I'll be married 20 years in June. I don't discuss relationship with nobody but me and my husband. We don't know what the hell we doing. We just make it.
You ain't lying now, Living.
I ain't lying.
I be talking to Barry all the time. Like, what's wrong with you?
I don't know either, but I'll tell you.
Listen.
Wait, I'm talking to this kid.
You're not talking to God.
The girls,
We're having a conversation
the boys' towns on the south side, those boys are definitely going to be treated differently than those boys who are cisgender. And I know because I work with them. You can go in South Shore and you could go to Lawrence Hall and ask them about the difference in the boys who are cisgender and boys who are transgender and how they're treated. And that's a fact. That's not my opinion.
So are they boys that are transgender or are they girls?
I ain't gonna get into that because I just told you I'm open to learning about it. I'm not one to argue that point. All I say is humans, especially black humans, my black brothers, my black sisters, my black children. I don't want none of us to feel devalued, degraded, and like we don't matter. I'm not dismissing any of us.
Not at all.
And that's not the argument I was ever making though either, right? Again, it's a construct, right? And most of the constructs are created to either implement power or to maintain and retain power. Mm-hmm. That's why I keep asking about the resources. Where did the resource go? Now, this isn't even the conversation I wanted to have. Y'all talked about this shit for 45 minutes.
Y'all?
Right.
Yeah, I tuned out of this one. Thank God. I know how this shit works.
Wait, you saying that I did for 45 minutes? You said I was talking to myself.
No.
I get to talking. She gets
at first it was y'all two, and I didn't say anything for like 10 minutes, and then I got it, and then you jumped out.
I'm going to be the spook who sat by the damn door.
You're not going to be
when you invite me in, I'm just going to sit here and let y'all ride. Go ahead.
You see how she does shit? Yeah, like she's offended.
She's incapable of being.
I talked this whole conversation. And
she's incapable of being passive aggressive, so this ain't gonna last. She can't even be passive aggressive. It is counter to who she is. I ain't even worried about her trying to play no passive aggressive game.
The last 45 minutes spewing my opinion. Now I'm offended that you don't agree.
I think her head would explode if we just be quiet right now.
I didn't know we wasn't agreeing. I'm listening. Good.
Told you. Couldn't do it. Couldn't do it.
You ain't
couldn't do it.
No damn dead
couldn't do it.
And you lose again.
Come on, man. Talk.
Anyhow, man, listen. We are going to wrap this thing up for today. Keisha, you got to find a point. Of course, you got to find a point. Come on,
I let you tire it. I know how to play you now.
I don't have a point. My point was I came here to share about Women's History Month.
Thank God for that.
I encourage and invite everybody to learn every day. Learn of a new woman who's made a contribution and share.
Where can they see the ones that you put up on a daily basis?
They can follow my Instagram, Mrs. Girls Like Me. That's the only part I share for free.
Cool.
You can't follow me on Facebook. Ida Elamaya, she got to be discreet.
I can dig it. Keisha.
Tell them more about Girls Like Me before we get out of here.
Yeah. So Girls Like Me, we got dope things happening for girls, black girls, specifically black girls, unapologetically black girls. We have Global Connections. That's a program that we have partnered with an organization in Ghana. And we have Pen Pal program every Thursday. We also have digital storytelling every Thursday. That's teaching black girls how to use media to create podcasts, YouTube channels, and other forms of expression. And then we also have just gotten funding from ICEJA, Violence Prevention, to do an art mural that is dedicated to the black women and girls who have gone missing in Chicago, so that we amplify their stories, raise awareness about their being missing, and just promote protection of black women and girls. You can find all about us on girlslikemeproject.org, girlslikemeproject.org, also Girls Like Me Project on Instagram and Facebook.
Your work is phenomenal. You are even more so, ma'am. Thanks for always being willing to come and chop it up with us. The people saying they want you on here all week.
No.
If y'all want that, what y'all would need to do,
People watch 2 and Keith.
what y'all would need to do is send me a referee shirt, a whistle, and a bottle of
Cam trying to be
Advil.
messy.
All right, send me.
Ooh, Cam.
Black girls born that way. On that note,
we gotta wrap it up.
Gonna wrap this thing up.
Wrap it up, baby.
Y'all make sure y'all get here early. Wake up early, 6 a.m. Hang out with the Mace Jackson Show. Stick around for the Book of Dawn before Minding Our Own Black Business with Tennille Jackson, and then hopping on the green side of things with Cassie and Sadiq. We'll be back here tomorrow at 3 p.m. Same time, same place. Huge thanks to Sonia Escobar, the one and only Sko. We appreciate you.
Sko.
I see you, Herb.
Wait. Let me say this publicly. Sko, I got the piece that said blessed and highly favored. And I wanted to thank you.
Right. I was shopping.
Appreciate you. Thanks for thinking of me.
It was back here for days.
Is that your mom for real?
Yeah.
Wow. Hi, Herb's mom.
Only reason I come in on Mondays.
Wow. Well, now. Anyway, huge thanks to you, Keith, for coming and hanging out with us. You know the door is always open, and we appreciate every time you get an opportunity.
The door is not always open.
Not too damn often. I ain't doing it with y'all.
Can't take this shit, but once a year.
It is like a quarterly thing or something like that. We do like a quarterly catch up with Keith.
It's about Keith time. You know what
Hey.
Why I gotta get thrown into that? That's usually just y'all two. What? Well, I got it. You know what I'm saying?
She said share the broadcast.
You think they gonna have her
I ain't
face?
say that.
You know what I mean?
She hit her lips from.
Share the broadcast.
She hit her lips from the camera, but she spoke right into the
Share
mic.
the broadcast. Y'all hit
Anyway, y'all have a great evening for Toussaint Werner. My name is Herb Howard. We'll see y'all back here tomorrow at 3 p.m. Y'all be good to each other. Peace.
Assalamu alaikum.